Coin drop. Screen flash. The high score. Boss laugh. Thumb sore. Same fight. Lost track of the time all night. Snacks gone. Eyes red. Still shouting one more. Instead, distracted gamers press start. Button mashing from the heart. Round one. Game on. We get hit. Go harder. Distracted gamers press start.
It's all my speech. Oh, there it goes now. I made a big speech and we're going to have to do it again. I'm going to do this I'm going to cut it anyway, so it doesn't matter, Ross. I was eloquent and everything worked out perfectly.
It's true. These are facts.
Rewind. None of that happened.
So before we get into this, just by the way, there be dangerous rocks ahead, because as the Odyssey journeys into being killed by mermaids and horrible monsters, this podcast will upset you if you are weak of heart and have the lack of ability to rashly have a conversation about
Sorry.
history, movies, and representation, all that sort of thing. So, calm down. My introduction is a lot shorter than initially it was. That being said, I have Jason Silver Ross with me. Now we can go. So the Odyssey is coming out. The Odyssey is one of the large, next to the Iliad, one of the large Homeric mythological tales. To preface this,
Right.
Me and Ross are the history guys. Like,
We did go to school for that. Yes.
yes, we went deep. I studied Greek and Roman history. Ross probably went deeper than that.
Yeah, I was more in Roman. I did take a Greek history class, but it was more. I went more Roman.
Right.
That's what I took more classes on. So
So we do have somewhat of an interesting perspective coming from a historical background. Even then, dealing with the Homeric tales, I have read the Iliad and most of the Odyssey. I had to read huge sections of it, but I've entirely read the Iliad. Big fat book. These are the problem with these stories is these are ancient mythological tales. And though attributed to Homer, we're not entirely sure who wrote them, or if he wrote them down later, or if Homer existed at all.
If he's even really there. Yeah. It's...
Well, because there's an article we're going to go into depth on, and the person talked about it's like, well, Christopher Nolan wanted to make sure he honored the ancient writer Homer, and it's like, well, we don't even know if he's real or not. So calm yourselves. I don't know how much of experience with the Odyssey any of you really have, even in just popular culture.
In popular culture, I mean, I've seen some of the movies. I haven't actually read the Odyssey. I've read excerpts of the Odyssey, and I've actually watched the anime that was based on the Odyssey.
Of course.
Yeah, there is. It's called Ulysses something. I'll have to look it up.
All right. Anime counting as expertise. Silver, I don't know if you know anything about the story.
No. Well, basic, very basic, but not in depth whatsoever.
Okay.
Also, if it's called Ulysses, Jeanne d'Arc, and the Alchemist Knight, what the heck?
No, it's Ulysses 31 is what it was called.
Okay, because I just googled Ulysses anime. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
No, it's weird because it's set in the future, so it's got spaceships and stuff. So it
so accurate. Okay.
yeah, so totally accurate.
So the Iliad chronicles the events that happen around the Trojan War. Now, we are pretty sure the Trojan War existed. Following the ancient texts, they think they found Troy, but maybe. I mean, a lot of history is really difficult to confirm. That's what's so funny about when
Yeah.
people go into the Bible. They sort of dismiss because it's a religious text. And it wasn't until the last while that they started to treat it more like a historical text. And using it to trace locations has actually been somewhat successful. And that's the problem with these ancient stories. It's like, well, how much do you believe, and that sort of thing. But they are written about oftentimes events, if not exaggerated. And the Trojan War, brief synopsis, basically Helen is whisked away to Troy because she falls in love with man. And, well, the guy she was married to gets really upset and asks Agamemnon, the big king in Greece, to help him get her back. And Agamemnon, in the Troy movie, definitely emphasizes that he was using it as an excuse to go conquer.
Right.
And one of his top soldiers is Achilles, who's supposed to be unkillable, and the whole like Achilles tendon thing is named after him because he gets shot in the ankle and dies because his mother dipped him in the river Styx, and he became invulnerable except for the part where she held his ankle and dipped him in the river Styx. There's a lot more depth to that story. You have Hector and the Trojans and defending themselves, and obviously they snuck into the city by hiding inside a giant horse. And you might ask yourself, who would fall for that? Well, the first person has to.
Right.
On top of that, the Trojans sort of, their symbol was a horse, and they kind of worshipped it to some degree. And the Greeks made it look like they disappeared, like they left the giant horse and left. And they hid inside of it, and then at night they all got drunk and they jumped out of the horse and opened the gates and massacred everybody in Troy, and now everybody's dead. Well, Odysseus' story takes place in the Odyssey at the end of the Trojan War and afterwards, where he goes on a journey to get back home, but they get lost in a storm, and it's like this harrowing adventure journey to try finally make it back home. And that's really sort of the journey of the Odyssey. The Odyssey was always this desperate journey to try and get back to where they came from. And they experience all sorts of horrific mythical elements, like mermaids the sirens try and sing them into the rocks so that they get destroyed. And you have the Cyclops, and you have all sorts of creatures and monsters they have to deal with. And the Odyssey has never really truly been rendered in its fullness, like as a story, which is kind of strange because it's one of the most famous. I mean, if you're going to do an ancient story, I mean, how much older are you going to get? I mean, me and Ross were joking about the Epic of Gilgamesh the other day.
Yeah, that would be about as old as you could get, probably. Yeah, it's weird that Hollywood as a film. I mean, the last big Hollywood film they did of the Odyssey was called Ulysses, and that was in the 50s with Kirk Douglas. I mean, they had the miniseries in the 90s, which is what I remember.
They had a more recent one with Armand Assante.
That's the 90s one.
That is the 90s one?
Yes.
I thought that was 2000s.
Oh, no. Oh, Jason, you're so old, like me. I too think things in the 90s aren't that old, but I'm afraid they're old. And to be fair, it looked really good. I mean, especially for the time and being a miniseries, it was a good looking show. The thing I remember the most is Cyclops, because he's gross, like all greasy looking. Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, I mean, they had that movie, The Return, which wasn't I don't know how big of a budget that had. It wasn't like a big epic. It was really just about the last part of the book.
Yeah, shooting the arrows through the axe heads to prove that it was him, or
like that's. And
yeah, by the way, the end of the Odyssey is super depressing. Just by the way.
Yeah, it ain't happy.
You get to the very end, and Odysseus is pretty much alone. I guess everybody's practically died. Does his son die in the journey?
No,
No,
I
his
don't
son
think
is
so.
still in.
Still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he gets back, and nobody recognizes him except for the dog.
Mhm.
And the dog wags his tail, he pets it, and then the dog dies.
Oh.
And the whole time, because people want to inherit his, I guess, lordship over the lands he's in. And so the whole time they're trying to convince his wife to marry them. That, well, he's dead and gone. He's not coming back.
Right.
And she
He's not
keeps
coming
trying to
back.
distract everybody. She's like, well, I'll marry a guy as soon as I'm done quilting this quilt or whatever. And then she spends forever creating the biggest stitched quilt ever. And then it's like, okay, now that you're done, you have to pick somebody to marry. And she goes, well, to marry me, you have to accomplish these many difficult tasks. And
Like stringing the bow, shooting the arrow through the axe head.
yes. And then the
Yeah.
final one was shooting the arrow through the axe heads. And it's Odysseus, who nobody recognizes him because of the journey he's been through, who accomplishes it. And it's like, oh, it's him. Nobody could do it except for him. The Epic of Gilgamesh is a weird story.
Very weird. It might be hard to make into a Hollywood film. I'm going to be honest.
Well, calming down the symbol of the savage man compared to civilization, because the Epic of Gilgamesh revolves around Gilgamesh the king, and then this savage Enkidu, and Gilgamesh trying to like calm him down because he's like savage man ravaging the countryside. and so they finally conquer him by giving him a woman, and he bones her constantly, and then he calms down.
She's a sex priestess, specially trained.
And
Bangs
I
her
don't
for a
know.
whole week.
There's obviously some symbology about how women civilize men, and all these sorts of interesting allegory you can glean from the Epic of Gilgamesh, but it's a weird story.
It's a little strange.
Freaking Enkidu.
Just have a 45-minute sequence of just the longest sex scene in Hollywood.
Yeah, because didn't the story suggest it went on for like weeks?
Yeah, I think it was a week.
Oh, okay.
Which
And it's like,
crazy.
calm down, everybody.
Well, got that out of my system. Anyway,
It's like some 18-year-old that just, his hormones have gotten out of control.
me and Gilgamesh are bros now. We're gonna do bro stuff.
Yeah, and then they go have bro adventures by fighting and whatnot. But
Adventures.
they do.
Bro.
They fight other kingdoms and
Kind of like a certain actor and his tugboat friend.
yeah. Ancient stories are a kick, man.
Yeah, they're fun.
So there's actually an interesting thing about the discovery of Troy. It's this German dude. He wasn't actually a archaeologist. He's kind of
Yeah.
a pseudo archaeologist. He decided that he was going to go find it, and his name was Heinrich Schliemann, and apparently he found the place, but he dug too deep.
Oh no.
It's really weird. He used dynamite and stuff. He thought he found the place, and so he's dynamiting all this stuff. And come to find out from years later, from actual archaeology done at the site, that he destroyed probably some of the artifacts and things that were actually from Troy because they were on a higher strata than the ones he actually dug to.
That's a
So-
whoopsie.
This is
right.
it's not a unique story. This happened with explorers in Egypt and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Oh yeah,
Not getting super
but
distracted.
he
Regardless,
super obsessed guy.
yeah, I remember his story. There's still the problem with Sleeman's deal is there's still speculation as to whether or not like it's the Troy of the tale or the anyway.
Right.
It's the
It's still likely
amateur. Well, that's the problem, Jason. All we know about Troy are ancient myths that we don't know if they're thousands of years old. So we're not even sure if they're talking
Right.
about the same thing. And the
Right,
reason why
right.
Schliemann dug there is because he's like, well, I read the book. It's got to be close to the coast in this way.
This
It's got to be
spot.
close enough to these sorts of fields. And so his guess was that location. Regardless, the problem with ancient history, so history involves written word and going over written documents.
Right.
We're talking about more archaeology at this point, where we're looking at pots and being like, I think so. That being said, we do get a movie about the Odyssey. Now, I know Christopher Nolan is everybody's beloved filmmaker. Nolan recently had his big hit with the Oppenheimer. I'm going to tell you right now, despite the fact everybody seems to have a great desire to fillet Christopher Nolan on a constant basis.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about Christopher Nolan. I do not think look, here's the thing. I think he's an interesting filmmaker and probably the most interesting filmmaker out there. He's willing to make interesting movies, and that's probably his biggest credit. But the problem, his movies, in an effort to be interesting, end up being full of themselves and convoluted more than anything else. I like them. I don't love them. And I kind of disliked how people got so obsessed with his films, to be honest.
Yeah,
Sorry, Ross, go ahead before I go into it.
well, I was just saying, I was talking to my girlfriend about it. And it's like, I think they're like smart movies, quote unquote, for like regular people. Like they make you feel very smart when you watch them.
Yeah,
But
well,
when you think about them very deeply, they're probably not very.
well,
Which sounds really snooty, but you know.
That's my biggest thing with Inception. It blew everybody's mind because it's like, oh, it's a dream within a dream. But if you think about it for 5 seconds, because everybody's like, oh, it's so complex and interesting. Like, if I'm not making myself out to be the most brilliant person ever, but if you think about Inception very far, it has a huge amount of flaws and plot holes. And on top of that, it's not actually very deep.
Yeah, not so much.
It blows your mind because it's got weird twists and helps. It's almost like the Matrix. It blew everybody's mind until you're like, oh, he's just kind of in a program.
Oh, he's Jesus.
Yeah, everybody's Jesus allegory. And so you'll get Inception. It's like, I didn't watch Inception until well after it was out of theaters, and my sister bought it for me for Christmas, like the movie. And I love Nolan because I love Batman, but then his Batman movies have flaws. Anyway, I sat and watched Inception, and I was like, man, this movie thinks way too much of itself. And it's not that it was bad, because it was interesting. It was trying interesting things in storytelling. It really thinks it's smart, though. It really thinks it's smart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you get that with Memento. It's almost like complicated for complicated's sake, not for the storytelling. Like Tenet has that same problem where it's like way too complicated and it damages the viewing of the film. It makes it worse.
Yeah.
And the complicated isn't really complicated. It's just over convoluted, I guess might be the better word.
Overwrought
And just ridiculous, because it's like, well, is he moving forward in time or backward in time? And it's like, I don't know, it's the same.
Hell if I know, man.
But it takes away from the storytelling, because you sit there and go like, ooh, interesting premise, as opposed to, oh, the basic plot's kind of shit. And then you get into Interstellar. I get it. It's all sad. He comes back and then his daughter's old and he missed everything because he was trying to save the world or whatever. But it's just, I feel nothing when watching Interstellar. Interstellar actually kind of angered me because it was accurate scientifically, and it pissed me off because it damages my view of space. Because space is dumb now because of Interstellar.
Yeah. I can't have cool sci-fi now because, I mean, well, you can, but it's like the reality is no, it's that will never happen like that.
Here,
it will be much more like the Forever War.
Yes. Why don't we do that rabbit hole really quickly? So space is very vast and traveling is almost impossible. And so a lot of sci-fi tries to tackle this by creating fantastical ways of transportation. So you could travel across huge distances very quickly. Star Trek, Star Wars, that sort of thing. And everybody's looked at the stars as like, well, we're going to explore and discover new things, and maybe there are aliens out there. And that was always sort of the romantic view of what space travel could become. But the problem with space travel and the theory of relativity is mass affects time. And much like a marble laying on a blanket, it actually affects time and space around it. And you're like, well, why does that matter? So a planet that's very dense, time travels differently. It's not just how many rotations around its sun or whatever. And they talk about this in Interstellar, where they land and they're not down there very long. They go back up and it's been 7 years. And the guy's been waiting for them.
Right.
And this makes it so that space travel's a lot more gay, because you can't just go to cool planets and come back. Landing on a planet for 7 minutes could be 7 years or 70. Like, it dramatically changes how cool and explorative space ends up being.
Well, it's like, even if we have faster than light travel, that doesn't mean anything. Cause
it doesn't mean anything.
One planet could have a 150 years, and the next one could have 10. So it's like, well, just everything's a nightmare.
Everything is a nightmare. We wouldn't be able to land on planets. See, that's the problem. Space travel and planets would have to be of similar density to ours for us to be rationally interacting with those places.
Yeah, well, it's like you couldn't have a galaxy-spanning empire unless they're all, really close to Earth size and density. Because otherwise, you could have whole revolutions and empires rise and fall on that planet, and have them say, like, no, we're not a part of you. And like, oh, there's like, it just, everything's changed. Like, everything's completely changed on that planet. We have no control over it. Like, it's a nightmare. Like, genetically, they're different. Like, everything. Culturally, they're not even the same anymore. Which the book, The Forever War, kind of deals with, where a man keeps surviving this intergalactic war, and he literally sees humanity change throughout it. And anyway, so it's like, it just can't happen now. Like, if you think about it in a truly scientific, rational sense, it's like, that can never happen.
And all sci-fi is wrong. All sci-fi is wrong now. All of it.
Yeah.
There's no space travel. There's no Expanse. There's no Babylon 5. There's no Star Wars. There's no Star Trek. All of it is wrong. There's no romantic view of traveling through space and landing on a planet and meeting an alien and getting to know different cultures. No, it's all horror. It's all the terror of the void, and you don't want to land on a planet before it turns you into like an old man trying to, like, messages won't leave out because And Interstellar kind of damaged sci-fi for me for that. I was like, oh, I hate you, Interstellar. And on top of that, as a basic story, it's just so emo. You know what I mean? It just it's just like, I don't enjoy what I had to sacrifice to change everything, and then it's really his daughter that saved the world anyway.
Plus the stupidity of the setup anyway. It's like, no, actually, NASA's wrong. Like, nothing like that ever happened. Like, oh, okay. All right.
Well, and he goes and plays the space piano to talk to his daughter through the bookshelf. And it's just really stupid. That isn't. Wasn't it suggested when he goes to the black hole that, like, evolved human, like, energy entities are what intercepted to help him out?
Oh God, I don't remember. I don't think I've seen Interstellar, to be perfectly frank with you. Or if I have, I didn't finish it.
Yeah, it sucks. It's really bad.
So it's kind of like Deep Space Nine, but dumber. In that sense.
Worse. Yeah, much
There's
worse.
wormhole entities.
Yeah. Well, it's because he goes into the black hole, and then something intervenes to help him out so that he can communicate with his daughter through the infinite space piano, the great space string instrument.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, and it's just Christopher Nolan makes interesting movies because Interstellar is an interesting movie.
It is. Yeah.
It's just more complicated than it needs to be. And
Yeah, and that's one of the least complicated ones. I mean,
yes,
you mentioned like Memento and Tenet, and like just ugh.
Well, Dark Knight Rises is a mess. It's just
Oh, it is such a mess.
Yeah.
And then you have The Dark Knight, and there's genuine. Even one of his most praised films has got like storytelling problems and filming problems. Like he breaks certain rules when it comes to action scenes that actually confuse the audience more than help the audience. Because he just, it's like, he's one of the great auteurs, and it's like, well, understand the basic rules when it comes to filming action and stop flipping the camera around so everybody's not entirely sure which direction the freaking car is going. Anyway. I get it. There's Nolanites out there that are fully obsessed.
Oh, and it's a problem. Like, I mean, they just won't listen to anything critical about this. I mean, I don't like it. Just trust him, dude. No, he's never had a miss.
Well,
never.
See, Ross had an interesting interaction on Instagram with a lady that was kind of getting overly obsessed and upset with people criticizing the Odyssey based upon the trailers, which are there as an advertisement for the movie. But what was your experience on Instagram there, Ross?
Well, so it's a movie page that I follow, and whatever. It's a newer one that I started following in the last couple months, maybe. And yeah, she like posted this video just about like it's my most anticipated movie. I cannot wait, and the controversy around this is totally BS. Nolan has truly earned the right to make any movie he wants. We need to trust him as a filmmaker. He's literally never let us down. Never? Dark Knight Rises fucking sucks, dude. Like I just posted like, well, the trailer is meant to make me excited for the movie. Like, if the trailers make me think the movie looks not good, that is not my fault as a viewer. And I'll get to your comment in a second, but she replies like, I guess that's fine. I just think it's bizarre that our best working filmmaker is being doubted. Nolan has always delivered. Why would this be any different? And I just said, at the end of the day, he wants our money. He has not convinced me to part with it. Red had a fun comment. Being very, he definitely doesn't know me kind of a moment. He's like, I agree with this stranger. It is not my job to give the movie the benefit of the doubt. It's the movie's job to convince me to see it. Based on the trailer they put out, it's going to be a pile of dog crap. I want good movies. I hope it's good. Their advertising said it's bad, so I won't see it. It's too bad the commenter above me is so gay.
Yeah.
Referring to me.
Yeah.
So and it's just like the comments are filled, like section is filled with this kind of like, well, it's mythology. There's nothing to be accurate about, which we'll get to, I'm sure.
Gosh.
Like the issue is people with the Odyssey is that people are media illiterate. If it's not as accessible as Project Hail Mary, then they reject it.
But what does that have to do with media literacy?
Well, no, and yeah, okay, media literacy. Hey, this is supposed to be set during ancient Greek times, right? Like very ancient Greek times, like before 300 and the Spartans and the Peloponnesian War, before all that shit. I mean, we're talking very early Bronze Age.
Old.
Yeah, and why do they have brutalist fucking architecture? Why does the Mediterranean look like a fucking bog?
So Ross, just before we get there, the big point of the issue with that discussion is Christopher Nolan is amazing. We should trust him blindfold. Is essentially what we're being told, and it's like, why? He doesn't deserve anything. Just because I like a lot of Disney movies, does that mean I'm supposed to trust every Disney movie? We're talking
Yeah,
about this
like a
like
show.
it's some sort of faith-based way of viewing things. We should
Faith-based
believe
filmmaking.
in Nolan. Believe that he
Mhm.
will do the right thing. Believe that he is going to make good, because every movie he made has been good. Guess what? I liked Oppenheimer. I didn't love Oppenheimer. In fact, Oppenheimer's kind of boring and dumb at points. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get, and it's like, well, your opinion's in the minority, and it's like, maybe,
we'll see.
maybe,
I mean, he's definitely riding the Oppenheimer wave, right?
yes,
And the thing is, I mean, look, what's one of my favorite movies ever? It's Blade Runner, right?
yeah,
Ridley Scott's also made amazing movies like Black Hawk Down, one of my favorite movies when I was a teenager.
yeah,
Not every movie he's made's fucking amazing. Like,
yeah.
we know
He's
this
made a lot
about.
of his later
he's-
life. He kind of got lazy.
I mean, and people thought his period, like after the failure of Blade Runner, was rough. Jesus Christ, they had no idea what the fuck was coming. Like, oh no, the 2010s and 2020s are going to be horrible for this man. Like,
Yeah,
just
Napoleon's terrible.
wait. Terrible.
Thing is,
I mean, Gladiator
the
2 is
latest
just awful.
counting is
I mean,
that
ugh.
Christopher Nolan, no matter how many wins he has amassed up to this time, he can still produce a stinker. He's not perfect. So there's
Very
no
human.
way that he could have a perfect record. Now, let's say that this movie is a hit. Well, that just proves that he did he did a really good job this time. That just means that the next movie that he releases, that could be the stinker. He's not perfect. He is going to fail at some point. We're going to get a movie that is way subpar.
He's failed a lot is the problem. My point is,
Well,
why
that's
are
it.
we blindly believing in Nolan simply because it's Christopher Nolan? Like, look, people fillet this guy so much that he could release a trailer for a film where the trailer is just a guy farting into a can. And they're like, oh, it's so brilliant and amazing. Christopher Nolan. Because this is what you're telling
He
me,
does it again.
is that he knows, he's such this auteur. He got authentic cans. The authentic fart, like that guy had to eat beans for days to produce the authenticity of that fart, to fart into that can, to create the resonance. The IMAX sound created from the bouncing of the fart from the can. Like, this is the amount of cope that they would go through to defend something that he did, because he can't fail. Because Christopher Nolan is a religion, and we all sacrifice our children in his name onto the altar of stupid shit movies.
Well,
I
and
did see somewhere that somebody estimated that this movie would make around 4 million just on the Christopher Nolan crowd itself and nothing else. So,
Well, we are still way ahead of discussing sort of where the movie's going to go. I'm just discussing the people getting ahead of any disagreement and picking a fight over, well, we're just supposed to believe in it. What do you mean we're supposed to believe in it?
don't believe what your lying
Yeah.
eyes are seeing. Believe in Nolan.
Believe in Nolan.
Believe, but start
the-
seeing Nolan.
We're going to be
the
that
trailer's just the trailer.
we're going to be that religious sect where we start hitting ourselves in the head with boards.
It's a brilliant religious sect. I love it.
Yeah. So we got trailers for the movie. And immediately the teaser, well, because me and Ross discussed, as history guys and people really interested in this stuff, what our reaction would be. Because here's the problem. I'm the core audience that would be into an Odyssey movie. I am.
Right.
I'm the one that should be loving it. And we see the trailer, and then I start to see the armor. And I'm like, well, that doesn't look right. And Cap Cruz says the plate armor killed the smallest of interest, I guess, for her. Yeah, and then you see the architecture, and the architecture is really bad.
It's just brutalist. There's blocks of marble. Don't do anything to it.
And you see how they depict a lot of the scenes, and it's like, oh, I don't like the vibe. I don't like the depiction. Now, there should be a fair discussion when it comes to depicting movies historically accurate. This has been a long-running issue with anything of historical placement and importance and whatnot. And there's been a lot of degrees to this. Oftentimes you'll see movies where it's like, well, that car wasn't made at that specific time, or that movie wasn't made. And historically, Christopher Nolan's been very picky about why he chooses certain things. He's had reasons for why in Dunkirk the German planes were painted in the way that they were, even though they wouldn't have been painted that way at the time of the Battle of Dunkirk. And excuses so that you can see the differences of the planes, and he realizes that. And it's like, oh, interesting. Everything's wrong with this movie. All historical accuracy is out the window. Now it can be a representative, like, it's a fantasy, and also because you can either do the hyper historical accurate, which is very difficult to do in a film.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're going to get something wrong. You can do your best, or you could do it sort of like a metaphorical, it's interpretive, sort of representative of historical events and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So to some degree, obviously the armor looks bad, the architecture looks bad, the boats are wrong. They're just wrong.
Really wrong.
Extremely wrong.
How
you could set all of this aside as
Mediterranean.
sort of artistic interpretation. Yeah, the Mediterranean wouldn't be dark and gloomy.
Literally a beautiful summer vacation spot that people go to en masse.
All the time.
Constantly.
But you could
The
arguably
Mediterranean is beautiful.
you could arguably take this as like an artistic interpretation of Homer's Odyssey. Okay. I mean, I think the biggest grievance is the architecture, because like we have Greek ruins.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Why do you need to change
what they look like.
what they looked like? Why do you need to give it a brutalist element to it? It's really weird. Like we have Greek ruins. Like the armor is less of a problem than we know what they look. We know what the Greek ruins look like. They're right there.
Yeah. Everyone knows what they look like. I mean, so many countries, including the one we're all sitting in right now, they have based the look of their big official important buildings in their capital to look like Greek ruin, like the Greek architecture. Sometimes a little more Roman, but
American buildings were built to mimic Greek architecture.
Yes, hello. And look, the problem that I have, I'm fine with a really overly stylized look, feel, whatever. I mean, one of the more interesting versions of Shakespeare I've ever seen was the version of Coriolanus, where they made it in the modern day. So it's just and it worked for me. I liked it, but it's very stylized, right? It's obviously it's fine. The problem is for me, it seems like Christopher Nolan likes to have things gritty and grounded and real, right?
Right.
I mean, that's why his Interstellar movie is scientifically accurate, right? And makes sci-fi lame as hell.
Yeah.
But so what are we doing here? It's gritty and ground. Ooh, it's dark and gritty and tough, but it's this isn't what it fucking looked like though. So this is just your imagination of the dark, gritty Odyssey. It's oh my god, all right, whatever.
Well, I guess the bigger question then would be, how much validity is there to staying hyper realistic and true to what it looked like at the time, as opposed to taking some sort of artistic bent and making things sort of, I mean, it's like Tim Burton redesigning every building to look all cockeyed and weird. I mean, you can take the artistic bent, but then everything needs to be artistic, and then just tell people it's this is my artistic interpretation of a mythology. But we haven't been getting what is your opinions on historical accuracy? How vital is it really, or how much artistic liberty can you really take with this?
I don't think it's absolutely vital for me. Obviously just for me. However, then the rest of the movie needs to vibe with that, right? Like,
Right.
and Mr. Detail oriented Christopher Nolan wants as realistic and like to the point where he didn't want to use CGI explosions in Oppenheimer. Like they filmed real explosions and then like processed them into the film. Like I don't. Then I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? It needs to be a lot more stylized than what he does. I mean, it's like the difference between his Batman and his version of Gotham, where it's Chicago with maybe a little bit of New York sprinkled in there.
It's Chicago, but yeah.
Yeah, and Burton's like Burton's. I mean, it literally looks like. I mean, I don't want to say it looks like a comic book because it doesn't. I mean, it looks like somebody just bored in art class drew their weirdo version of Gotham City, and that's fine.
Like,
but at least the
Mega
rest of the movie fits it.
Metropolis, 1950s Mega Metropolis.
Yeah,
And thing is,
but at least-
I embrace the Tim Burton stylized because he just stylizes the whole thing where it's like we're
exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas we don't have this like really like pale blue like stark look to the movie, which to me, at the end of the day, I would much rather see this be more historically accurate because the reality is this era never gets done very well historically accurate.
No.
And it would be to my brain, and I'm biased obviously, I think it would jump so much better off the screen with the bright, colorful armor and buildings. I mean, they painted their fucking buildings for God's sake. They didn't just sit in marble. Like even their big,
Buildings,
beautiful
statues,
public
everything.
buildings. Yes, it was all painted. So like, make it beautiful and bright, like the fucking Mediterranean is. Like, why not? We haven't seen it. Even Gladiator, as good of a movie as that is, it didn't do that right. And so, what? Like,
True.
just give it a whirl. Just try, because we had the sword and sandal kind of thing, which wasn't ever very accurate for the most part. I mean, there's some that are better than others, but whatever. You have like the really horrible '90s era. I mean, like as much as I remember kind of liking the Armand Assant version of the Odyssey, like it's very like it's a couple steps above the Hercules TV show, right? Like it's leather tunics and blah blah blah. Like whatever, but it was made on the cheap comparatively. But like, goddamn, you are Mr. Christopher Nolan. What isn't he even knighted now? Like Hollywood will give you as much money as you can take. Like they will give you so much. Just make it like try. I think it would pop off the screen better. I think it'd look better. I don't know. That's
Ross,
my opinion.
I think there's a quality that we haven't verbalized here yet. And part of my issue is not just that they're taking creative liberties and redesigning things and making them look exaggerated or fantastical in this mythological tale. Fine, but that's the type of movie I expect from any other director making a historical piece.
Yeah.
Where they just redesign the armor to pop off the screen better, be more exciting. I expect every other director to do that sort of thing. Which is why we got inaccuracies in Troy, but it's like, yeah, but the armor looks cooler. Which would be the excuse. Any other director would probably do silly, exaggerated plate armor like we're getting with Agamemnon in the movie.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, because his name's attached to it, you expect more. And instead we're getting bog standard, shit generic like redesign for aesthetic purposes and not historical purposes. And it's like, okay, do that. But you could have hired any other director to do that. You didn't have to have Christopher Nolan make a really dumb looking Agamemnon armor. You know what I mean?
I think because this is set in the historical period, that emphasizes even more how much it needs to be accurate to the period it's set in. It's not like they're moving this to modern day or moving this into the future and just saying, okay, we're telling the story of the Odyssey, but we're setting it in a different time frame. At that point, to me, it's like that can totally be whatever you want it to be. or they are saying, this is a story. This is an exaggerated tale. This is a tall tale of heroics and things like that. This seems like they're trying to be grounded and gritty, which I don't think fits for
Well, in tone,
this particular
sure.
story.
I think you kind of sidestep my whole criticism that any other
Oh
director
no,
would
I'm
do an exaggerated look. It feels like Christopher
yeah,
Nolan could have done better, but it looks like a shitty Ridley Scott like redesigned to make it look aesthetically cool as opposed to anything else. Like Nolan's just doing the aesthetically cool. Like it might as well be 300.
right.
Yeah,
I was just answering the question you posed earlier about um, should this look more historically accurate, and my thinking is that because of the fact that they're actually trying to set it in that time period, and they're trying to make it realistic. Yes, it should be more realistic to history. It
Well,
shouldn't be exaggerated and over the top. That's for something else.
I
And
think
I,
that
I get your point
becomes
about
I get it. I think that becomes sort of this waffling issue of if you set it. The problem is if you set anything historically accurate and you become dogmatic in how you approach accuracy,
Mhm,
it can become a problem with anything set in history because something set like 10 years ago. It's like, well, that car didn't come out a year later and that sort of thing. And
right.
I don't thing is for artistic purposes, I don't begrudge taking artistic liberty to make everybody like 300 is not an accurate movie.
no.
It
Right.
is actually based off a comic book. Their armor didn't quite look like that. I mean,
Mhm.
all of it, but it's taken for artistic liberties to make it look cool or exaggerated or whatever, and it pulls off. 300 becomes fun. Um,
Right.
so there is degrees, I guess. Like Troy has, weirdly enough, the Brad Pitt Troy has more accurate armor in it.
Yeah. Well, and
Well,
that's the
see,
thing I was
that's
going to.
where.
Sorry, I'm just
Go
going to
ahead,
real
Ross.
quick. That's the thing I was going to mention is weirdly enough, we have kind of the gritty remake, like the gritty, not remake, but like the gritty version of not this story, but of like the Greek myth. In the like, are there gods in Troy? Anybody? Does anybody remember?
Kinda like they talk
Not
about him all
really.
the time, but no.
Yeah, they're not featured. I mean, it's like, oh no, it's like very much as if it's like from our like how we view God and religion right now, right? Where it's like it's something you believe in, but you don't see him, right? And it's kind of like that in
Right.
that movie. Well, Cersei's in this fucking version of the Odyssey. Like he's got gods and nymphs and whatever. So why are we doing a gritty like?
Right.
And somehow the gritty godless version, in a sense, of Troy, like how did it get stuff more accurate, right? Like you said, like it's just that's where I have a problem. That's where to me it's not connecting. Where it's like you want this gritty look, man. It's you can feel it on the, but then but you're having like gods and whatever. Like what are we doing? When witches and shit, like okay, maybe whatever. I don't know. It just doesn't connect to my brain. But
What I was gonna say is kind of going off of what I'd mentioned before, and tying this back to what Rhett had mentioned before about the armor in the movie Troy, being more accurate, but they changed it artistically to make it look cooler. It's like I can get behind a change like that as opposed to this guy is wearing full plate armor, which didn't exist at the time. It's like, fine, make your armor a little bit more stylized so it's cooler, but make it still look Greek for period's sake, as opposed to, we're going to give this guy plate armor that didn't end up being invented until the Middle Ages somewhen. You know what I mean?
Well, I
I can
guess
get behind these artistic changes, but if they're more in line with what was going on at the time, as opposed to anything else.
well, and there's just ambiguity that you can have stylistic differences, and it's funny. Look at the walls of this city. and then how ridiculously difficult it would be to make that armor compared to the walls of this city. I mean, all right,
Yeah.
great full plate. Like they could barely make bronze at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Goodness.
And it doesn't doesn't have to be 100% like you've said, but like get it close, get it the vibe. Like their uniforms are bright and colorful. Like there aren't like
Well, either
they
go
wore-
stylistic, which is an easy thing to do, or go
Yes.
hyper realistic. But he seems to be going stylistic and acting like it's brutal and realistic.
Right.
That was part of my problem with Sisu. Everybody kept making Sisu to be such a, it's so amazing, accurate, action movie and whatnot. You see it, and it's stylistically a very gritty, down to earth, like harsh film. But then he's doing ridiculous things.
throwing landmines at people and having them blow up.
Yeah, and they just don't fit. Like the two don't work for me. Where it's like, this dark, realistic end of World War II, and then he's hanging off the bottom of a plane with a pickaxe stuck into the bottom. I was like, all right, this is kind of stupid, you guys.
I do have to say that Christopher Nolan, with the reputation he has, this does seem like the wrong film for him.
We expected better.
Yeah.
But then we got the second trailer, which is
Yeah. Well, and to the point where, like, why were was it just me? Did you notice the accents in the trailer?
Yeah.
From the British actors that are, like, weirdly American? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And using the word, like, daddy, and, like it's just felt so fucking off.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
like start inserting Riz into the...
Oh, dude. And, I don't know if you were going to bring it up, Red. Are you going to bring up the translation that they're using for the characterization of Odysseus?
No, go ahead.
Just brief, and I haven't delved deep into this. So they're going to use the 2017 translation of the Odyssey, which was done by a classicist by the name of Emily Wilson, and it is controversial. Yeah, it's very controversial. Some people really, like, all the critics in, like, not classicist media, if you will, so like the New York Times and those kind of people, really just fell all over themselves for it. People that are in that world really kind of had some issues with it, because it very much modernized
more of a reinterpretation than anything else.
Right. Well, it was like had a lot of like modernizing aspects to it that are questionable, I think, to a lot of people. And again, I've seen like some comparisons between them, like the different versions. And again, these are obviously picked out comparisons, so whoever the bias of whoever was making this choice is whatever. But it seems a little bit over the top to me. That's just me, though. So I mean, there's even question about that. Anyway,
now, I've heard that it wasn't confirmed that was the version that they were using, but that he had mentioned it in an interview at some point, favorably, not necessarily like we're definitely using this. And so I think there's still some ambiguity there.
Yeah. And again, yeah, it was basically he was describing what he liked about the character of Odysseus through the lens of that 2017 translation.
Right.
So I want to make that clear. So how much he used beyond that, I don't know. But there are people who are far more expert in those kind of things than I, and who are much more interested in it in general. That might be a bit of an eyebrow raiser, right?
It's a huge eyebrow raiser to me.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, it's like reading a modernized version of the Bible. It's like, ew.
Oh, yeah, I mean, granted, I think we all here on this panel have obvious bias positive bias towards the King James. Or even frankly, even the older, like, Catholic translations of the
Yeah.
Bible.
Yeah.
Like they're fine. I once you get beyond like 17th and 18th century sounding English, my eyes glaze over and I don't want to listen to it because it sounds wrong.
Thus Jesus did riz his yacht.
Mary Magdalene had that yacht.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, and the reaction to these have been mixed, to say the least. People
Had it
feel
been
like
any other director, people would
any
be-
other director, this probably wouldn't have been as scrutinized, because it's like, well, you're supposed to be the guy that got details accurate in the World War II Dunkirk,
Uh-huh.
and we're watching this going like, what is that? What are we looking at here?
Yeah.
Especially when we know what they look like. We know what the armor look like. We know what the buildings look like. We know all of that. So
Yeah.
then our interpretation has to be he's making a stylistic choice. Okay, a stylistic choice. Well, then we get this article from Time where this writer goes in to talk to Christopher Nolan, go to the studio, and boy, does this article fillet Christopher Nolan. So it's time we talk about the Time magazine article.
Ah, yes.
Christopher Nolan's Trojan horse isn't a towering colossus looming over the coast of Troy. It's sinking, half submerged. It looks less like a monument than a mistake, an offering to the gods already being claimed by the sea. Inside, filthy soldiers press up against the wood. They breathe through straws as the water rises, waiting in silence for the Trojans to drag the horse through their city's impenetrable walls. It's an audacious image, even for Nolan, the filmmaker who has most successfully fused artistic vision with commercial appeal in the modern era. If the horse were sinking into the sand and about to be swept away by the tide, the Trojans would never believe there could be anyone in there, said Nolan. Pouring Earl Grey from a teapot. They're really filleting. Pouring Earl Grey from a teapot wrapped in a geometric cozy at the bright but unassuming offices of his production company, Syncope. They would be rescuing this thing from the waves and dragging it into the city as a prize. It wouldn't be on wheels like a roller skate. Okay. I mean, that's fine. I'm glad you thought about it for 5 seconds. I don't know why they left a prize for the Trojans half submerged in the beach, but
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that also be terrifying, by the way, for the people in it? You could possibly drown if they don't come grab this thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
maybe why would there be wheels on it like a roller skate? I guess, but also like a wagon.
How did the Romans get it there?
Well,
Excuse me. How did the Greeks get it there?
Well, the Greeks built it. The idea was they built it as a, hey, we lost by.
Right.
So they didn't
But
move it. They built
the
it
Greeks-
from what used to be parts of their ships.
Right, but what I was getting at is if the Greeks wanted it near the walls of the city, they would have had to either build it within eyesight of the city, which means that the Trojans would have been able to see them getting in it, or they brought it closer from where they built it and left it so the Trojans could find it, which doesn't, to me, suggest they left it in the ocean.
I don't see the issue that the Greeks just built it and left it, and then the Trojans found it.
I'm just saying that yes, that is what happened. The Greeks built it so the Trojans could find it, but why would they build it somewhere where the Trojans would have to go look for it? I think they would pull it to where they would find it right away.
I mean,
as
that's the
opposed to-
classic interpretation of they wheeled it up to the walls and left. I don't know if the book says explicitly. I don't remember.
It's been too
I don't think
long.
it does.
I don't-
Well, I think it's like we gave up and walked away and left this in our wake, sort of thing, just so that they could go
And
find
it's
it.
not-
It is confusing why it's half submerged in the water.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was
Right.
just on its
But
side, like without a pedestal, fine. But the
But
water
if
thing's confusing.
if the Greeks built it and it's a tribute to the Trojans for their bravery in withstanding the siege and all that stuff. Um, why would they have to go look for it? You know what I mean? It's like, this is a gift. We're giving it to you because you guys are tops. You guys withstood us, and we're packing up and leaving.
Well,
So we're leaving you this present. As opposed to, they just go out and the Romans aren't, or the Greeks aren't there, and they're like, hey, there's a horse over there. Maybe that's for us.
well, they never strictly tell the Trojans it's a gift.
I know. But it's like, if you pull it to the gates, and or you at least put it in front of the city where it can be found right away. Like, the guards get up in the morning and they're like, "Hey, look, there's no Greeks, but there's a horse right here. It must be for us."
I
As opposed to,
I don't quite agree with your criticism there, but let's move on before we get bogged down in this. He dreamed up this fallen horse not for his adaptation of Homer's Odyssey, but for another film entirely. Nolan was in talks to direct 2004's Troy, based on Homer's other epic, The Iliad. That fell through, but for more than 20 years, Nolan carried his vision through Gotham, through outer space, through Los Alamos, in 2023 Oppenheimer, his 3-hour biopic about the physicist in Existential Crisis over the Atomic Bomb, grossing nearly $1 billion and won 7 Oscars. That gave me options, said Nolan, and what had never really been done is a cinematic retelling of the Odyssey with all of the capacity of a large-scale Hollywood studio production. It's an odd gap in movie history. We should have gotten a full-fledged Odyssey, I agree. Arriving on July 17th, the Odyssey followed Greek hero behind the Trojan horse on his 10th year journey home from war. Odysseus encounters a cyclops, sea monsters, a sorceress who transforms men and animals, all rendered with minimal CGI and maximum ambition. It's the first feature-length film shot entirely on IMAX, and the scale is awe-inspiring. But it's ultimately a character study. It would have been enough to strap Matt Damon, who plays Odysseus, to a real ship's mast and sail him past the sirens. In Nolan's version, Damon also has to perform an existential crisis as those sirens psychoanalyze him through song. Like the Trojan horse, the Odyssey can be enjoyed as pure spectacle, or it can be cracked open to reveal something deeply human. The script was very specific in what he was doing, Damon says. He's very faithful to Homer because that's not somebody you rewrite. We don't even know if Homer's a real human, by the way. But thematically, what he looked at was really interesting. Hollywood is in precarious place. Movie theaters have been struggling to recover since the pandemic, and superheroes aren't performing like they used to. It's not the pandemic that did it.
Not anymore. You can't blame that now.
Just so anybody listening to this can clarify, the pandemic damaged an industry already in decline. Movies and the theatrical experience have just been in recession for a long time now. Movies have been getting worse. People are less motivated to see. And streaming has been a huge factor in the murder of the movie theater.
Yeah.
People like to go, oh, well, the pandemic, we still haven't recovered. It was way more than the pandemic is a problem. Let's see. But directors like Ryan Coogler, Greta Gerwig, Jordan Peele, and Denis Villeneuve are proving that they can be as much of a draw as movie stars. No, Greta Gerwig had one success.
I was gonna say the only other movie she did like that was Little Women, and there was one before that. I can't remember it, but
well, implying by name alone that these directors will drag people out to the theater and are as much popular as the movie stars themselves. I don't think Ryan Coogler even sits in that. Like, if Ryan Coogler comes out with a new movie, I don't go, I got to go see the new Ryan Coogler movie.
Yeah, no. I don't.
Let alone Greta Gerwig, who had one successful film.
I think Little Women did well, but it was... I don't know.
Jordan Peele hasn't made a good movie since that first one he did. The last few horror movies he's done has been unsuccessful.
Yeah.
And Denis Villeneuve has had failures. We all got to forget Noah and how badly that one went.
What do you mean?
These aren't like the Spielbergs of the past. I mean, yeah, even among them, Nolan's films have achieved a rare can't-miss event status. They miss all the time. Like his peers, he delivers clever narratives, stunning visuals, an A-list cast, but he also builds intricate plots with hidden details engineered to lure audiences back to the theater again. As the president of Directors Guild, he champions the theatrical experience in an era when Hollywood is increasingly invested in streaming. The first posters of the Odyssey don't feature photos of the film's many stars, just Nolan's name in bold letters. A little narcissistic there. There are a few directors working right now who demand the audience's attention in terms of going to see their films in cinema, says NBC Universal chair Donna Langley. Chris has spent his career making films pushing the boundaries of cinema. Anyway, it's why the ship carrying Odysseus and his crew had to be genuinely seaworthy. Not only to withstand the chop of the Mediterranean in early spring, but also to sail from Morocco to Greece to Italy. That's production moved location. You mean he made a set so they could film on repeatedly and it was durable?
Well, and I just love this.
Apparently.
Yeah, he's the only guy that's ever made a movie with a ship that was seaworthy. What? Tons of movies have done this. So many movies have done this. What are we talking about?
Pirates of the Korean belt ships. Caribbean. I don't know why I say Pirates of Korean.
Pirates of the Korean belt, yes. No, I know.
Pirates of the Caribbean built ships.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the old pirate movies in the 30s built ships. This is what...
But
yeah.
see, what you're realizing in this article is this is making it out to be there's filmmakers aren't like this anymore. Look at what he built a ship to carry Odysseus and his crew, and it had to actually be seaworthy so that it could survive the Mediterranean. How about this next sentence? It's why cinematographer Hoyt van Hoytema rigged hundreds of portable LEDs to mimic the precise color temperature of firelight so Nolan could shoot in any direction during the midnight raid of Troy. So your lighting guy got light accurate, is what you're telling me?
And
apparently, he did his job. It was great.
I mean, yeah, they whatever. I just Jesus.
That's why the actor Bill Irwin, who voiced and puppeteered the robot in Interstellar, was hired to guide the performance of the mythical Cyclops.
Oh.
For Damon, it was the most rewarding experience.
Get a guy with one eye?
Yeah. For Damon, because they make Nolan out to be such this... You'll find for this article, and the reason why I'm reading it, is they make Nolan out to be like he's Cecil B. DeMille, creating movies like they never used to, and it's like this article would have praised him for poking a man's eye out to be the Cyclops.
He took that knife from his pocket and just gouged that fucking man's eye out for the movie.
The authenticity as he rubs his nipples. Movies like this are not being made anymore. To do this without a green screen. Green screens are not, I mean, Lucas kind of destroyed movies by doing nothing but green screen, but we were doing no green screen not that long ago.
No, well, now we just have the volume, so every movie looks the same.
The way that David Lean would have done it, I don't know anybody with the exception of Chris that's even trying to do that. There aren't a lot of people in the mid-50s as protagonists in these epics. I looked at this like the last movie I'd ever do. It won't be, but you could forgive the dramatics. It's difficult to imagine him or any movie star making an old school film of this magnitude ever again. Oh,
that's it. This is his swan song. He's leaving.
Christopher Nolan, blow me.
Let me blow you. Oh.
You
Nolan
better go to this one because you may never get a chance to see a movie on this scale ever again. Ever again.
Never. Nolan, by reputation, is a solemn figure, a no-nonsense puzzle box auteur in a crisp waistcoat, a flask of tea tucked into his jacket pocket. Maybe it's his movies with their intricate, sometimes confounding plots. Maybe it's because he operates with intimidating efficiency on set. Maybe it's that he's notoriously private. Yet over nearly 2 years and 3 steaming mugs of tea, the spoiler-verse director is unexpectedly forthcoming when I edge into territory. Well, is edging. I fear might trigger prickliness. He shrugs, says, fair enough, and delves earnestly into production decisions that have launched 1,000 Reddit posts. Every time my cup runs low, he ferries a refill from the tea cart. When I spill, he reassures me he blots it up.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Shut
God.
up. Jesus Lord. This
This
guy.
is not.
He cradles
This is
me
fan
gently,
fiction. This isn't reporting.
kissing me on the forehead so sweetly.
How are you supposed to reporting fairly on a movie and talking to a director with this big production coming out when you're basically giving him oral as you're doing this? Like, this is why reviewers, when it comes to movies and video games, are so mistrusted. Because at its core, if we think about what's happening, this person is reviewing a product and really hard selling it for the audience. You're not being impartial. You're
No.
making out with Christopher Nolan is what you're doing.
Maybe a little. You know, there was some light pecking, yes. I don't see what the problem is.
Wow.
Lord.
Comparing Emily Wilson, Evie Ryu, and Robert Fangel's translations of the Odyssey, I feel less like I'm interviewing a director than sitting in an office hours with a particularly approachable professor.
Oh my gosh.
He has studied the period, and the film is aware of his historical moment. The Trojan War marks the end of the Bronze Age, and Greece is about to plunge into a dark age of fallen kingdoms and lost literacy. He has also studied the text and made several striking adaptation choices. Argos, Odysseus' loyal dog is promoted from a cameo to a bit player. Odysseus and his son, Telemachus, who played by Tom Holland, burdened by the legend of a father he doesn't remember or given more time together. Circe, an archetype in Homer's version, gets humanizing updates thanks to Samantha Morton's unsettling yet sympathetic performance, and the reunion between Odysseus' fellow king Menelaus, played by John Bernthal, and his wife Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world, blamed for starting the war after a Trojan prince spirited her away, has always felt too neatly resolved in the poem. So now you're just criticizing Homer's poem by not wrapping up these storylines? Nolan complicates it, and in a twist, Nyong'o, also playing Helen's sister, whose marriage to Menelaus' brother Agamemnon is, to put it mildly, acrimonious. Nolan's attentiveness to his characters extends beyond the page. He famously forgoes director's chair, preferring to stay close to his actors. When you're uncomfortable, and you are most of the time physically, just by nature of what's required to get these shots, you turn and you look over your shoulder. He's more than 5 feet away and doing the same thing without complaint, says Damon. There's something really nice about being a soldier in a foxhole looking over and the general is right next to you. Ugh.
This is so dumb.
They go on to talk about how amazing it is that he had to enduring difficult shots by being sprayed with hoses and blah blah blah.
Oh,
Sure.
no.
How he couldn't fake a soundstage and all those other effort they did to make it look beautiful, and so you get how ridiculous. Anyway, they really blow Nolan as having performed some sort of artistic miracle and the accuracy of what he did it. And they go over all these super details. No one's thought about you don't understand. No one's thought about it all. And his conclusions are bad is the problem. The detail this article goes through is exhaustive to say the least. I encourage you to read it yourself.
Only
Needless to say, they really go crawl over glass to try and make sure that this movie comes across as amazing. Let's slip over to the Variety article. The Odyssey, why Elon Musk and his troll army attacks are just silly but wildly inaccurate.
Oh, I'm sure this will be unbiased. Yes.
Oh yeah.
From the team that brought you Why is Snow White Latina? Why are black people in the Rings of Power and Star Wars has gone woke? Comes the latest online onslaught against an anticipated Hollywood project that committed the unfathomable sin of having a diverse cast. In recent days, Twitter trolls have formed a phalanx and pointed their Ceresus squarely at the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's $250 million adaptation of Homer's epic, scheduled to hit cinemas July 17th. They have not actually seen the film yet, mind you, but have nevertheless managed to work themselves into a lather over a pair of casting. Elliot Page as Achilles, Ghost, Lupita Nyong'o as Helena Troy. Elliot Page is not confirmed.
No.
As Achilles, I don't think. No, right?
Well, is in the movie, but not confirmed as Achilles.
Right.
So any freaking out about that ahead of time is way premature. Lupita Nyong'o is confirmed as Helen of Troy.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
She looks so Greek.
Let's move on. Forget that Achilles and Helen of Troy are both fictional characters navigating mythological fable replete with giant cyclops, six-headed Scylla, and assorted other gods. So because it's fake, we could do whatever the hell we want.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
I'm sure that I'm sure that kind of energy translates to all myths, right? For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, there's fake
so
stuff in it,
when
so
we
nothing
decide to do
matters
our
ever.
adaptation of some African fables, we can totally get a bunch of white guys. It'll be fine.
In Homer's telling, these two characters were white with golden hair, so according to these apparent literary purists, apparent? What do you mean apparent?
It's
Like,
just right
I
there.
read the book. That's not what she just described as. They must be so in each and every adaptation. If you're going to adapt the book, they should probably look like what they're described as. I don't know if that sounds weird to you.
That's kind of the point.
Might be a good idea.
Why can't Nolan's film be more like Troy, Wolfgang Petersen's 2004 big screen version of the Iliad, with this blindingly blonde Achilles played by Brad Pitt and its Aryan Helen of Troy?
Oh God!
Why do you have to
Shut
describe
my
this
God.
as Aryan?
up.
Obviously, it's so that they can denigrate the people who are denigrating the movie.
As
it's
Hilter's
an
wet
obvious
dream,
ploy here.
Helen of Troy.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's
seriously.
just ridiculous.
You know what? This sounds mean, but as a man, you're ugly.
Well,
Seriously.
You are a
it's
cute
certainly a
girl.
choice.
As a man, you're not. You're a funny looking little Weasley kid.
It's certainly a choice to become a 5'1" man. I'll say that.
Kevin Sorbo tweets out, "You couldn't have paid me to tank this movie. You could have paid me to tank this movie, and I wouldn't have thought of anything better than the casting changes." The culture warriors have led battle by their own personal Agamemnon, Elon Musk. I'm going to be honest. I don't follow Elon Musk.
No, I
Whereas
don't
Twitter,
either.
like I don't read him. I don't take marching orders from him. I don't know what he's been up to. But to imply that somehow this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for Elon Musk drumming people up on Twitter.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that if he hadn't have bought Twitter, that these dissenting opinions would have been suppressed.
On Twitter, sure, it would have been everywhere else that would have allowed it.
So all of the negativity, all of the backlash are all from right-wing trolls, and none of them are legitimate. And anyway,
No.
look, we have it confirmed. Who's a pretty girl? She's more cute. She's got like a puffy cheek thing going on. This young black lady is playing Helen of Troy.
Oh,
This is
Lupita
confirmed,
Nyong'o. Yeah.
right? All right.
I definitely
You
wouldn't
do
have said her face would
realize-
launch 1,000 ships.
You do realize that was going to get commentary. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why anybody's surprised that no one was going to point out, oh, by the way, Helen of Troy wasn't black. And that your reaction to this is to attack people, criticize them, call them trolls, call them right-wing bots, go after people, because the internet has gone nuts with people either attacking the film for inaccurate casting or attacking the people attacking the film for being trolls and bots and ungenuine in their criticism. We had this discussion when we talked about Harry Potter, where we talked about Black Snape as Black Snape being an accurate casting, and there's a lot of story reasons why it's an accurate casting. The problem with Helen of Troy is we also know what Greeks look like. There has been, for a long time now, a desire, I get, that for the last few decades, with the onset of identity politics, there's been a desire to reinterpret historical events in a diverse light, even though they weren't.
Right.
And in an effort to do that, people have... Now, you're going to tell me this isn't true, but this is absolutely true. Not just redoing historical stuff like the countless BBC renditions of historical things like
Oh, yeah.
Queen Elizabeth is black or Achilles is a black guy or whatever version the BBC happens to do, but then to argue actually it was diverse as opposed to simply making it diverse for ideological purposes.
Yeah.
All of this because of the onset of ideologies like the intersectional diversity, yada, yada, yada. The problem when doing this with historical events is we know what these people would have looked like. We know what Greeks look like. We know what Egyptians look like racially. We have DNA from Egyptians anciently, and we know what they look like because we have their DNA. And this comes from Western white people reinterpreting historical events with different race characters. Now, the tactic with criticizing people for not being okay with depicting Queen Elizabeth as black or whatever is, well, first of all, either you don't know what they look like, which is not true. Why do you care so much about race? Which I guess the counter to that is, why do you care so much about race? Because you wouldn't change them if it didn't matter. To diversity is good regardless. So we can change anything we want to because it's always good regardless. And it doesn't matter who the person is if we add diversity to it. To cynical, we just want to screw with your history because we don't like you, which is also another option.
Or this is based on fiction or myth, and so we can do whatever we want because it wasn't real, and these people never
but
existed.
these are also weirdly dismissive to the criticisms of, by the way, the book describes her, and also historically Greeks aren't black. We actually got a comment from somebody on The View saying that Greek culture came from Africans. Which is also the other tactic of reinterpreting everything to, yeah, by the way, the black people invented it. Or that they have this. And I understand people are highly racialized. the internet is replete with this stuff. Everybody's trying to reinterpret, oh, by the way, the Egyptians were actually black. Oh, by the way, the Vikings are actually black. Oh, by the way, the Roman emperors were really black. I understand that this has become a troll across, and all of these factors of people coming from all of these different directions with exaggerated rhetoric and hyperbole and freaking out over every little thing and angry. It's like, why do you care if they're black? It's like, why do you care if they're black? And it's, why did well, you're racist for noticing. It's like, you're racist for changing it. And all of this becomes just mud in the water of freaking out internet trolls and screaming ideologues and across the board. I would like to at least say that tales like the Odyssey, the Iliad, ancient mythological tales and historical stories about certain events are very important to the cultures that they come from.
Mm-hmm.
They mean a lot to these people.
Yeah.
They mean a lot anciently. And the reason why we're still talking about the Odyssey is because the Odyssey had long-lasting mythological value. The reason why we still study the Iliad is because it tells us a lot of things about the Greeks, how they viewed the world, how they viewed their relationship with other cultures, how they viewed their relationship with their gods. These are important, deep cultural tales, and they mean a lot to the Greeks and by proxy Western civilization. And changing the stories feels like an attack to people who value these cultures. I would understand, and did, when they do it to other cultures. The Japanese were not okay with the new Black Samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that's why it was lambasted in Japan. People are not okay with you screwing with their history, screwing with their mythology, and screwing with their cultures. And this seems to happen one direction. And until you can prove to me that we get a mythological movie based upon African mythology and it's replete with white people, then the only conclusion I can come up with is the intention is to rewrite Western cultural history in a diverse way, and there's a reason why people get upset. Have I dealt with this in as straightforward and an adult way as I can without sounding racist?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair. That's a fair way of assessing it and putting it and being straightforward.
Okay. That's not to say that the young lady isn't an attractive person. Sure, she is. She's just not cast correctly. Now, there have been criticisms that I believe in the Odyssey and in the Iliad, people have described of having like blonde hair. But by and large, Greeks would probably look more like John Bernthal than they would Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it's crazy that the closest thing we have to a Greek in this movie is a Jewish guy.
A lot more olive-skinned, a lot more swarthy sort of thing.
Yeah, swarthy is the classic term.
But even then, you can put bronzer on a white guy. You can't really white up a dark-skinned individual. You know what I mean? So it's easier to
how
get
willing are you to Michael Jackson yourself?
Right, it's easier to get an American bronzered a little. It's harder to get the young lady lightened up as Helen of Troy. So
certainly not in an ethical way.
Suntan is easier than bleaching.
Right, not in an ethical way. So I'm not terribly upset that European-ish people are depicting a European culture. It would be weirder if it was a bunch of white people pretending to be Japanese or something. It's like you could have Chinese people or Korean people pretending to be Japanese in a Japanese movie, and you can have white people or Western European people depicting other European cultures. It would be weird to have a Japanese
someone who's Danish.
Right. It would be weird to have a Japanese person pretending to be Achilles or a black person pretending to be Helen. That's where it doesn't quite work.
Playing Genghis Khan.
Yeah, like a Greek person or a Chinese person could play a Japanese samurai because they're similar. Racial.
It's a lot easier to get away with. Yeah.
It's a lot easier to do.
I mean,
like I just
to Asians they would notice it, but to Westerners they wouldn't.
well, I guess so, right? The point being, she stands out.
Like a sore thumb.
And a lot of people have been very deliberately critical of why is there a black woman in this movie? There could theoretically, like, the Odyssey goes across a lot of the Mediterranean. There could theoretically be moments where they run into black individuals on some island or like that's not like maybe.
Theoretically, sure.
But we know Helen of Troy and what she was described as. And ancient, it's funny, they make ancient civilizations out to be way more racially understanding than anybody would be modern. And it's like,
right.
Do you realize the definition of these ancient civilizations is very insular and tribal?
Oh yeah.
They don't
the
mix
Greeks had a really funny one. Yeah.
Greeks are tribal with other Greeks.
Yeah, famously, yes.
You're from a different town than me. Screw you, loser.
Actually, quite a problem they had.
Yeah, they had a giant war over that. And so I don't know how easily they would have been accepting of an attractive lady. I hate to say African descent because Africa involves a lot more than just sub-Saharan African sort of thing.
Sure.
But of African descent. So it doesn't look right or accurate in any way. And if you are an ideological individual, it's like, yeah, but diversity. Or you don't know, but we do know what Greeks look like. Well, you don't know. Well, we do know because she was described in the book. Well, it's not that big a deal. Why are you so racist that it has to be changed? That's literally my response to that. Why are you racist? That she has to not look the way a Greek would, or at least just lighter skinned. And these awkward conversations are perpetually being had across the internet and will not go away. One side feeling it's deeply important to be diverse in every movie that they do, and one side being like, oh, by the way, that's inaccurate. And that the clash is going to be inevitably vitriolic and angry, and accusations of racism and bigotry are going to throw across the board, when at its core, these are tales about Greeks, written by Greeks for Greeks, and important deeply to their culture and Western culture. And people are going to notice. Like, I don't know why you think it's weird people noticed. It's like if I walked in with my pants down, it'd be like, why are your pants down? Why are you looking?
What's the problem? What, everyone has it. Come on.
You noticed. I don't know why they thought nobody was going to notice.
I guess they just thought that she was such a great actress that, everybody would be like, oh, no, she can totally play Helen of Troy here. We're good.
I'm not saying she can't play an attractive woman. I'm saying she can't play a Greek woman.
Right. And this is the thing that
and you know what's funny?
On. They're saying, why don't you like diversity? And it's like, we don't mind diversity when it's used correctly. When you're talking about a story about Greeks, people should look Greek. They just should. If you're talking about a story about people from India, they should be Indians. They shouldn't be Native Americans. They shouldn't be Africans. They shouldn't be Europeans. They should be Indians. And we don't mind diversity when it's used the right way. They're using it as a club. They're saying, you don't like diversity, and I'm going to hit you about the head until you do.
Well, and it's just, like the funny thing is for me, I have no doubt that Lupita Nyong'o could play Helen of Troy as a character, right? There's no doubt in my mind she can pull that off. But there is the obvious reality. I mean, it'd be like having me play Mansa Musa. It just doesn't make any sense. Like I'm like sorry, like I don't look sub-Saharan in any of my features. I just don't.
Yeah, they're not going to cast any of us as Nelson Mandela. That's for sure.
Say that for yourself. I could pull off Nelson
Have the
Mandela.
chance.
especially the kaiju monster. Silver,
Yeah.
you can be cast as Nelson Mandela any day.
Let
Yep.
my people go, or whatever.
Coming
he said.
soon.
Do we have to have this discussion again? Where the
Oh.
racial casting is wrong again.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when we point it
It's
out,
coming.
people accuse people of being racist again because we haven't learned this lesson again. People care about these stories, and you're confused. You're confused when people point it out. They're like, I don't like it. You're confused? You didn't think this was going to happen? But here's the thing. And the argument's been made online. I think they wanted the controversy.
Yeah,
It's entirely
I mean,
possible.
it makes one wonder. Certainly.
That was intentional back in the day, like deliberately so. They would create controversy on purpose to try and get people to come out and either support it or against it, sort of thing, because it creates buzz and conversation. And everybody now is sitting here going, "Oh, so they did it on purpose."
Yeah, I mean, this isn't quite the same. But do you remember the stupid stuff that like George Lucas was saying when he made Red Tails?
No,
Well, this is the first all black movie. You know, there's never been an all black war movie.
that's not
Never
true.
been a thing. Literally, I mean, like, hello, what? This isn't the first fucking Tuskegee Airmen movie, George. What are you talking about?
Jennifer Lawrence, the first woman action star ever on film,
No,
Oh, yeah.
Bless her for that.
first woman lead in any movie.
What a brave pioneer of cinema, you know?
If it wasn't for her, women would never get on screen. We'd still have male actors playing women's roles.
The pioneer. Who was
A more
it that?
hilarious time.
Who was that stupid actress who would go up and be like, "Well, no one's ever done that before," and people were literally yelling out from the crowd, "Oh, what was it? Spielberg has never had a woman lead." And it's like, that's not true at all.
The color purple.
She's like, "Oh, I guess there was."
It's like, Jesus. Like, you couldn't Wikipedia this for 2 seconds? God damn.
Well, and obviously this point of view comes from people who are constantly trying to pick some sort of cultural war. That it's a cause.
Ideological.
Every new thing is a cause. It has to be the first black person in a film. It has to be the first woman lead. It has to be the first whatever. And that every milestone means a lot and becomes a huge significant moment, and they have to point it out. And look, everything's changing because everything has to be constantly fought over, like Jim Crow is today.
Right.
And so this is just another nail in the coffin of what we're trying to do. And needless to say, the huge conversation about Elliot Page. Now look, Elliot Page is genetically a woman. However, the individual identifies themselves is beside the fact Elliot Page will never be genetically a man. Ever. Will never produce sperm. Ever. This individual is always, for time and eternity, genetically going to be a woman. Now, whatever the problem with talking about this issue, because of all the emotion and drama surrounding it, is the fact that I have no animus towards Elliot. I don't want Elliot to be a depressed, unhappy individual, and I don't want Elliot to self-harm or do anything awful. But I also don't think Elliot's a man. biologically and scientifically.
Mhm.
And so now you have Elliot cast in a male role in the new Odyssey movie, which in its essence is going to open Elliot up to criticism and finger pointing and whatnot. And a lot of the mockery on the internet probably doesn't feel super good, making fun of Elliot perhaps being Achilles, which is not confirmed, and I would be surprised if it was. But then again, if it was, it's just obviously another huge red flag to an awful film that we're going to get from Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
The amount of AI images of Elliot Page showing up as in a war movie. I saw one recently as Elliot Page as the Terminator in Terminator 2. Or Elliot Page is King Leonidas in 300 and goes to kick that guy into the hole, but is too weak to kick the guy into the hole.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
And it's like, you're in this movie, you're going to open yourselves up to criticism. And then you have the like, oh, well, how can people be so cruel? You're a public figure in a public film. And if you don't want to be criticized, then don't make movies. This is the price you pay for your fame and fortune. This is the sacrifice you make. People were going to criticize Elliot. They just were. They were going to criticize Christopher Nolan for the casting decision of whatever Elliot's role happens to be. They were going to criticize the movie. And people who... The transgender issue is also another hot button cultural fight. And people who care and want the trans people to be represented will pick a fight tooth and nail to make sure that they're in films. And people who disagree with the transgender issue will pick a fight tooth and nail about whether or not they should be in films, or at least represented as the gender that they so choose to be. Hopefully, Elliot all of the vitriol doesn't harm this individual as much as it might, but this is the price you pay. It's like, I want to be president and make good decisions. Also, I don't want people to criticize me. Well, these go hand in hand. You get one, you get the other. You can't be a celebrity and not be criticized. And you can't be an open trans individual and not be criticized. It's impossible. You can't control whether or not people are going to point and go, oh, I don't like that. That's not up to you. And this is going to be a part of the world we live in. Is this movie going to fail? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to make as much as it could. But then again, as new trailers come out, the conversation becomes bigger. There's more and more criticism being levered against it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine a world where it doesn't. I mean, if it didn't break even, that would be shocking.
That would be a devastation.
Yeah, like it will make, because I think they made it for $250 million supposedly. It'll make $500 million. I think quite easily. I don't think that is going to be a problem at all. I think the question is whether it'll break $1 billion, and I don't see that happening. I'm sorry. I don't.
But this movie made with different decision making would have made $1 billion. Is the problem?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a lot more exciting topic than Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm more interested in the creation of the atomic bomb than I am about Oppenheimer's personal douche life.
What, the Pinko? You're not a big fan of the Pinko banging everybody? What do you mean?
No.
Oh.
I
don't want to see anything. I don't want to see any harm come to the people, but I can't say that I want to see this film succeed in any way. I don't even want it to break even.
Yeah, but simply saying you don't want to see the movie, you think it looks bad, and you want it, even if you say you want the movie to fail because you don't like it, is seen as bigoted, aggressive, racist, sexist, misogynist, simply because you don't even want to see it.
Or anti-intellectual, like the stuff I was reading.
You don't get it because Nolan's so much better than us. He floats above us with his mind-altering powers.
Smart. His movies are so smart, you don't even get them. Get them?
It's Earl Grey tea.
Yeah, God, yeah, exactly. He had a geometric cozy on his teapot, for God's sakes. It's just... Look, he makes some really interesting films. He makes some great films. He makes films that and this is my snootiest opinion ever on this podcast. He makes movies that make people think they're smart, not
Yeah.
that are necessarily smart.
You're not
movies.
wrong. Yeah.
Like, which is an incredibly snooty thing to say, but and he's good at it.
Very true.
Look, man, he sells it. And I don't begrudge him. Good on him. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't think there's going to be a lot of repeat views of the Odyssey. We'll see. We could all be super wrong, but I mean,
Hey, I
it's
hate
just red
Avatar,
flag after red
and I'm
flag.
wrong about Avatar because everybody loves it.
Yeah, it makes a shocking amount of money, although subsequently less and less every time. But still,
Yeah. I don't know. There is a chance that this movie could not do well. Just because of the controversy around it and people being tired of this kind of storytelling where we're being told you just don't get it. And it could turn a whole bunch of people off and they could walk away from it. But it is a Christopher Nolan movie, so the chances of that happening probably slim.
Pre-order sales for the movie sold out like a year in advance.
I'm wondering if people are rethinking that now.
too late. Deal with it.
Well, it's funny. We were going to have this discussion about the race of the characters and the controversy, because you can't put a character like that in there, like change the race of a character and not have people point at it.
Right.
I don't know what they expected was going to happen. We were going to talk about it.
Yeah. It's why it took 20 years for him to make it. He had to get to the point where people would just not question him and follow him blindly.
Well, here's a proposition. The rules for the Oscars for winning an Oscar. 1A.
Oh,
My
A
God.
lead or significant supporting actor from underrepresented racial or ethnic groups. Number 2, general
Oh my
ensemble
gosh.
cast. At least 30% of all actors not submitted for Oscar consideration are from at least 2 underrepresented groups. Main storyline
This is
slash
so
subject
bad.
matter. The main storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group. B1, creative leadership and department heads. At least 2 of the following creative leadership positions, department heads, have to be from an underrepresented group. Overall crew composition, key roles, paid apprenticeships. I know you have to have a main character from an underrepresented group.
Yeah.
If
Well,
if
and
Helen
this-
of Troy isn't black, does this get an Oscar? Whether it's good, it could be an amazing movie, and she's not black, and it doesn't get an Oscar.
Well, and at the top it says, like, because they call it the RAISE standards, the Academy Inclusion Standards form RAISE, and has to meet 2 out of the 4 standards that will be required for the film to be eligible for Best Picture consideration. So, one of them, like, and it's funny, it has to meet one of these, like, so it has to meet 2 of those standards. One of them being at the very bottom, like in development, marketing, publicity, and distribution. So, like, diversity there. That's probably a really easy one. Hey, if you ever wonder, if you've ever thought to yourself, man, advertising for movies suck now. Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up. Just something I thought was interesting. And then, like, the industry access opportunities. So, like, you could do C&D, which is probably how Oppenheimer met that requirement, frankly. But then it brings up the question, so why'd you do it? Right? Like, so why did you change these things? It's really funny. Because I can believe in a movie like the 90s version of Much Ado About Nothing, which feels much more like a play that they put on like a Italian villa, like it's not a very big budget. It's a very simple movie. I can believe, oh my God, why did I just forget his name? he was in Crimson Tide, black actor, Man on Fire.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington. I can believe Denzel Washington's in that movie. I can't really believe that he'd be in like a high budget historical drama set in like 11th century England. That's kind of where that ends for me. But like
Right.
like it brings up this like I don't know, man. It's just really baffling. Like I said, the tone with the look don't really match to me. And then like you could have got like Oppenheimer, like you didn't do it with that, so why are you doing it with this? It's just I don't know.
I didn't have
I get it.
a lot of criticism with Denzel Washington and Gladiator 2, mainly because the historical evidence for what he looked like was maybe.
Yeah.
Because
and,
he was a slave
mhm.
and fought as a gladiator, and we don't have detail, if my understanding is correctly, of who he was. So he might have been black, his historical character. So I wasn't super upset about it. Like I really I didn't. I mean, unlikely maybe, but not impossible. Helen of Troy, that's not what she looks like.
It's not happening. That didn't happen like that. It just didn't. So I don't know. It brings up the question. Like you could have met this standard and that's why I think some people, partially because he's also already won awards. I think that's why a lot of like some people are saying like, "Oh, he didn't do this for the awards. He's already won them." And I think that can also be like, well, but that doesn't mean he doesn't want more.
Right. And after read those, it just feels so much like this movie is Oscar bait and nothing else.
Yeah, but again, like you can meet the standards like Oppenheimer did without it being in front of the camera. So, I don't know. It's weird, man. It honestly, it casts more things into question.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because then it goes even more like, well, what? Why come?
Well, the internet's been freaking out and full of extremely inaccurate information, historically inaccurate information.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sonny Hoskins from The View claiming that Greek culture came from Africa, which it did not.
No.
It didn't. I don't know what to tell you. And guess what? The Egyptians weren't black. So, some of the Egyptian pharaohs were. They were overwhelmingly not black, though. The Egyptians racially aren't black.
No. God, no. Weirdly, genetically, they've been pretty stable throughout time.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah. They have more in common racially with, like, the Syrians.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's so bizarre to me that people look at our world right now, and with the ability we have to go to another country so easily and assimilate culture from another country so easily, they think that somehow that happened back in ancient days. These people were severely insular because they couldn't travel that easily.
Well,
it took a long time to get anywhere.
That's why they weren't very diverse racially.
Basically your own culture. Yeah.
Well, and the nerve to reinterpret history through your modern idealized lens. And it's like, well, this is a historical movie. We're not going to put inappropriate stuff in there. It's like, no, they probably would have said the N-word. And it would have made you uncomfortable for modern sensibilities. But then, like, looking the other way, it's like, hey, do we need to do a movie set in Germany in the 1930s with huge amounts of diversity? It's like, do you also want to be the bad guys and take credit for that? Is that what you want to do? Because if we're going maximum diversity all of the time, then let's go maximum diversity all of the time. Until I get a black guy with a tiny mustache persecuting Jews, then I'm unhappy. Because if we're gonna reinterpret and all of history, then how come only the important figures or the heroic figures or the figures that are good or positive are the ones that get changed? How come we can't have diverse evil characters throughout history?
Yeah, and the Jews can't just be Jewish; they have to be ethnically diverse. So there has to be some, African Jews and some Australian Jews and some, you know,
Believe it or not,
Brazilian
Jason,
Jews.
one of the oldest Jewish communities are the Ethiopians.
Oh, I know.
They've been there for a long time. And funny enough, Israel, because they have this like all Jews welcome back, there's a lot of Ethiopian Jews in Israel.
Oh, I know.
They apparently
just
have
saying
the
that
Ark
we
of the
can't
Covenant
just
and they won't
rely
let,
on-
let anybody have it.
I'm just saying we can't let, if we're going to have a movie set in the 1930s where Jews are persecuted, they need to be diverse too.
Yeah, well, those persecuted in the 1930s would have been overwhelmingly Ashkenazi.
Right.
But there is weirdly
But if
enough
we
a
have a-
huge ancient Jewish civilization in Ethiopia that's been consistent for thousands of years. Oddly enough, right, Ross? Ross isn't with us.
He's dead. Oh no.
Sorry, I had to. My cat was losing its mind. I'm back. Sorry, I had to step away for a second. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh. I was just pointing out that weirdly enough, there is an ancient Jewish civilization in Ethiopia.
Yeah. Famously, there was like a huge program to bring them back to Israel.
Yep.
Like an airlift.
Apparently, they secretly have the Ark of the Covenant, from what I understand.
Oh, the Ethiopian Christians. Yes, that's what they say.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Well, we offended the internet by simply having a discussion about the fact that they race changed a character.
By not blowing Christopher Nolan like the assholes we are.
Yeah. I never give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I like the, well, you haven't even seen it. You have to see it first. It's like, why do I have to see a movie to know that I already am not going to like it?
Well, yeah, and like the trailers look bad. I don't know what to tell you. That's the point. The trailers to sell the movie. It isn't selling it to me.
Yep.
So sorry.
I mean, there's a
never
theoretical
met.
scenario
Like an anti-commercial.
where I watch it just to review it for the podcast, but that's as
Yep.
far as it would go.
Yeah, like it's crossed my mind that may come to that, but frankly, without the podcast, I would not go see it in theaters. I would see it later.
And here's the funny conceding I'm going to do here. There's a scenario where I go see the movie and it's really good.
Yeah.
This scenario is a possibility.
Yeah.
What doesn't
Yeah.
change if I find the movie to be good is that Helen of Troy doesn't look right. that doesn't change that criticism if the movie's good or bad. It still means that they miscast Helen of Troy. It just is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why we have Travis Scott, the rapper, in the movie too, is also really confusing to me.
Apparently he's a narrator, or she?
No, he plays the. He's a bard. He's a poet, and he's going to tell the tale of Troy.
I'm finna tell y'all about. Oh wait, sorry. I better not.
In
yeah.
rap, I assume, because Christopher Nolan, as accurate and historically accurate as he is, he said, "Well, rappers were the ancient bards." That's what
Oh,
he
yeah,
said. So,
Uh,
he justified it. Everybody, it's fully justified. Makes sense.
yeah, no, yeah.
Also, I know I have a bias because I do not like this actress, but Zendaya's in it
Ew.
Oh yeah.
as Athena.
Always a mark of the beast.
Yeah, I also don't like Zendaya, so.
Also,
Oh,
Robert Pattinson. What are you doing here?
Oh,
He has
he's
a
the
terrible
guy.
American accent.
Yeah, he's the guy smoozing Odysseus' wife to get her to marry him to turn the kingdom over.
I see.
Oh, good. He gets killed. Spoiler alert.
I don't think he
Yep.
gets killed.
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, she's
Oh, yeah.
Odysseus' wife.
Her her Botox face is just acting up a
Yeah,
storm in the
it
trailer.
is acting up a storm in the trailer.
Yeah, what's going on?
Bless her, but Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Zendaya is overrated. I haven't seen a
Oh,
movie
look.
where I thought, wow, she's really good in that. I've never seen that film.
Yeah, and
She's
she's
very-
only in it because Tom Holland's also in it.
Well, she's very good at the someone just farted face, so I don't know what you mean.
She's got the stink face look to her perpetually. Yes.
She does. Even on the casting list, yeah, she has that look.
Who is it also? What's her name in Twilight? She always got that like mouth
Kristen
breather
Stewart.
stink face thing.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like Christian
Kristen Stewart.
Stewart.
Yeah.
Do not like her.
Just
How dare you.
I don't like her in
She's a
Dune.
terrible person.
I don't like her in Spider-Man. She's part of the reason why I don't like Spider-Man.
I know, she ruined it.
Yeah,
And it's
She's
look,
definitely
she could be a
miscast.
lovely person. I'm talking about her characters. And also, I don't think she's a great actress.
Yeah.
She kind of the same character and everything. It's like a Bill Murray scenario.
It's like a Bill Murray movie. Once again, she could be personally an individual person who might be fun to hang out with or talk to. She's a bad actress, and she's not good in the movie she's in. Just so we clarify, the new Zendaya hate podcast. What's she smelling? There's nothing to smell. Stop smelling.
Stop smelling things. What do you? There's nothing to smell. It doesn't stink.
She's smelling
No,
what
it
the
doesn't.
Rock is cooking.
Nah, God. If only.
I might like her more if she was a heel WWE wrestler.
Just boo boo face coming down the ramp.
I'm gonna see you at SummerSlam. You know, the other big topic that was going to be the topic this week that I threw into the news dump was freaking mixtape. Do you want to talk about it now or save it till the end of the podcast?
Ooh.
I'm so curious.
Why don't we save it for a treat, and then because we can burn through these other ones.
Yeah,
then
and
we
a
can have some
podcast.
time.
Hey everybody, it's News Dump.
News Dump Online. This is the Distracted Gamers. Connecting now.
Oh my gosh. I've got a lot of backup, and it's giving me tummy rumblies.
Don't worry.
Wonderful.
I got the ship.
So apparently Star Trek, after the massive failure that was Star Trek Academy, is doubling down on the being very woke-ish by having two webtoons that are canonical and involve basically a lesbian romance.
Oh, good Lord.
This is going to go well.
What?
It's just great.
Yeah,
Going in a great direction.
yeah.
Double down, triple down, quadruple down. Why not?
So apparently the internet is really laughing about the fact that Xbox is trying to rebrand itself as an Xbox. We have a new logo change, and we have a new tweet from Sharma. Basically put up a poll, Xbox or Xbox. The people have cast their vote, and Xboxes have it, beating out Xbox 2-1. If you might be confused, Xbox, X is capitalized, box is not. Now it's X and box both all capitalized. That was the poll.
As buzz.
That's
And they're
Whatever,
rebranding into emphasizing Xbox, and there's been a lot of laughing and mocking of the whole. Xbox is now Xbox.
So beautiful.
this is an Xbox.
And look, it's Sting hiding himself as Sting.
Underneath the Sting mask, more Sting makeup.
They changed the logo a bit. It's a bit more old school looking. All caps for Xbox, groundbreaking. So yeah, this is the direction Xbox is going. Everybody's hyped. We have now redefined what it means to be an Xbox.
Again.
One thing you might be excited about is also other news. So, Xbox is nearly 100% AI leadership, and by that, the VP of Engineering, Jared Palmer, former Core AI Division, Head of Design, Tim Allen, former AI VP and GitHub Senior VP of Design, Growth of Analytics, Jonathan McKay, former Core AI Head of Growth.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Now, we criticize her for being involved in AI, and then she's been making positive decisions. So,
Right.
at its core, this is not necessarily bad. Obviously, she worked with these people in the AI division, and she knows what they're capable of, so maybe that's why she's moving them over. Or
Yeah,
this could be
surround
the
yourself.
new AI takeover of Xbox.
Possibly.
Take that for what it is. In a shocking turn of events, the new initial reviews of Mandalorian Grogu are actually really bad.
Uh-oh. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah, response is that it's really boring.
Oh goody.
Oh my god.
The first
How?
Star Wars movie we've had in a while.
How do you make a Star Wars movie fucking boring? You can't even make it bad in a hilarious way like the other ones? Like, what are we doing?
Mandalorian Grogu is one of the weakest Star Wars movies, an emotionless, predictable experience that doesn't push Din Djarin anywhere interesting. Dull, unexciting fight scenes, CGI monsters, action figure mashed together. A long, colorless, made-for-TV movie.
Holy shit. God damn.
As expected, a longer, bigger episode of the show. It has one or two standout scenes, but it feels much more interesting in developing the story to new locations than any new creatures than the characters. Enjoyed some of it, left frustrated by the rest. Mandalorian Grogu is the Star Wars franchise at its most juiceless. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody describe movies as lacking or needing
It's got
juice.
that juice. You know what I'm saying?
A listless
Or even
endeavor.
maybe, you know, the other thing. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, a listless endeavor that feels closer to a video game at points than it does a movie. Visually, it flies well below any of the other theatrical entries and really struggles to create any sense of wonder.
Oh, Jesus.
I can't emphasize how much Mandalorian and Grogu is blatantly a full season of TV crunched down in a movie length, as in you clearly see where each episode would have started and ended, and it's not a very good season of TV.
Oh my god.
Mandalorian Grogu, finally, they made a Star Wars movie for me to despise. Some cute moments can't save it from feeling terminally dull and offensively inoffensive. Feels like marathoning the blandest episodes of the show that are totally inessential, a waste of time and potential. Yeah, it is being butchered on the internet, by the way. And these are initial reviews from critics.
Wow.
Yeah, these are people that get the blessing from St. Disney.
Yeah. And a weird turn of events in a promotion for this, Pedro Pascal made out with Stephen Colbert.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because that's what we wanted to see.
They
That
kissed
makes it
on
all
his
Star
show.
Wars-y.
And a lot of the internet's reaction to him kissing Colbert was, this is your advertising strategy for Mandalorian and Grogu?
Hey, isn't this a family movie? Anyway.
Well, it's not
It
just
depends
that,
on
but
your
it's
family.
like, how is this gay kiss gonna help people want to go see Mandalorian and Grogu?
Like, oh my gosh,
Seriously.
I hope the Mandalorian is gay.
Everybody watch this 50-year-old Hispanic man kiss a 60-year-old dumbass on TV. Anyway.
It's probably a metaphor for when he kisses the over 100-year-old baby.
Oh, yeah.
I want those two to
Uh-huh.
make out. I want to see Pedro Pascal make out with a puppet. If he does that, I'll buy a ticket.
Oh my god.
Guy whose like hand is controlling the puppet. He's like,
He gets uncomfortable.
He goes back. He goes back and uses just sticks his hand in sanitizer.
Well,
Yeah.
there's puppet in
Your
between.
gun is digging into my hip.
But him complaining to the director that he could feel tongue is probably inappropriate. Shifting
he's back in
on.
his trailer in the shower crying.
Oh no!
In
see it.
in a shocking turn of events, everybody. Doctor Who has lost its home. It's no longer being on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you might ask yourself, where is it going to be on? AMC Plus.
Oh, with TNA Wrestling. That's great.
Yeah. Which also brought in a huge amount of conspiracy of like, are they just going to reboot it? Probably not.
No. Can guarantee that ain't happening. Not yet.
Daredevil ratings are so abysmal that as the show ends, it still cannot get into the top 10 of the Nielsen's again.
Holy shit.
To tell you why that's a big deal, The Boys at least is in the top 10.
Yeah. Handily.
And The Boys is terrible.
Yeah.
Multiple shows I've never heard of are in the top 10 of the Nielsen ratings, like The Miniature Wife.
I've never heard of that. Or Your Friends and Neighbors. I've not heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know what Beef is.
It's the guy, the Asian guy from The Walking Dead. It's that.
He enjoys
Okay.
cow.
Stephen Yun.
He enjoys cow meat, I assume.
It's a documentary about the beef industry, yes. I think that's what it is.
Either that or he just hates a bunch of people.
So, there's been a lot of weird stuff happening in Dungeons and Dragons lately, Ross. At Wizard of the Coast
I think
in
we skipped
general.
one. Sorry,
Um,
I think we skipped one. That's probably my bad, because I had my cursor on it.
Let's see.
There's one above.
Yeah. So, a lot of things has been happening in the Dungeons and Dragons world and the Wizards of the Coast world.
Oh, okay. I'm sure it's really positive.
Their latest cards have not been going well.
Oh,
They had a big blow up with a lot of the big crossovers that they've been doing, like the Magic the Gathering universe with Final Fantasy and Marvel and all that stuff.
yeah, Lord of the Rings.
So
Ninja Turtles. What is that?
Hasbro's head, Chris Cox, basically said that we should definitely expect more crossover between legendary tabletop game and the third-party brands, implying Dungeons and Dragons players can expect crossovers, like the Magic the Gathering universe.
No.
Oh my god.
Yes, because that worked so well when you did it with Magic the Gathering. Oh my gosh.
Because, Dungeons and Dragons needs Ninja Turtles.
What the fuck? That is such a stupid idea.
I can't wait for the crossover with
Ninja Turtle
Yu-Gi-Oh!
has its own.
Dungeons and
Doesn't need
Dragons is going to turn into
D&D.
Fortnite.
Oh, heck yeah, the Marvel crossover event, yeah!
I really love the crossovers. I mean, look at Fortnite.
Fortnite!
Darth Vader's in my Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and he has stats.
Look, I'm summoning
He
blue
also
eyes white
says AI
dragon.
slurs.
And you're like, oh, that's really dumb, but things seem to be going pretty well. Well, the workers behind Magic the Gathering Arena tried to form a union.
That'll
And
go well.
they were going to force Wizards of the Coast to recognize their union at the first of the month. And Wizards of the Coast declined to recognize their union.
No, 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 no.
They're yeah. Apparently they're also being told that they need to relocate to Washington State or effectively lose their jobs.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, dear.
I wonder if the Pinkertons are going to start breaking up the union.
We will call in the Pinkertons. They're going to beat some ass.
Yeah, just chaos over in Magic the Gathering Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons area.
God.
Oh, if you weren't aware, there was a lot of criticism that they have this subscription. I think it's like Dungeons and Dragons Beyond or something like that. Which it's not
Yeah,
unheard of for them to have a magazine and release new rules or stats or whatever. But there's been a lot of criticism that basically they've been releasing new feats and abilities and whatnot in the subscription Magic the Gathering Beyond app thing. And that now basically Magic the Gathering or Dungeons and Dragons is turning into a subscription-based model where you're getting new rules and stats and feats and stuff by paying them for their digital app.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's also other criticism.
They're definitely dipping their toe. Yeah.
Which means that if I'm the GM and you come to me with that garbage, I can say, no, I'm not allowing that at my table. And then you're out the money. So,
well, who uses modern Dungeons and Dragons rule sets anyway? It's terrible.
That's true.
Oh.
Recent stats suggest that 62% of hardcore gamers no longer buy full price games. We've talked about the problem going on in gaming, and this was going to be a thing.
Yep.
And older players are least likely to buy full price games. We all just wait for it to go on sale. Unless I really want that game, then I might buy a full price.
Well, yeah, and because number one, like, games come out and they're not as good as they used to be. It feels like, right? Like there's just not as much there. And
yeah,
as we get older, like I'm less and less into the competitive online scene. Like that's not getting pissed off at people online is less and less appealing as that age. So, like I don't care if they're not all
only
there
that, but you know, job and family and all that other stuff, it cuts into the time, and so you can't go out there and be playing video games 24/7 like you could when you were a kid.
Maybe you can't.
Yeah.
And kids don't have money anyway, so
you gotta remember who keeps you in the food.
Aren't have kids like they used to. So this is a Jason experience.
That's true too.
Anyway, commenting on the report, this is an accurate statement, which I quite liked. But he says the market has shifted. Consumers are full in terms of things to play, watch, and read, which I think is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not crawling over themselves to get the new thing because they're like, I can wait and it'll be cheaper. Plus, games have a habit of being launched unfinished or in need of a patch or two. So considering these two factors, the drive to rush out day one and purchase a game isn't there in the way it used to be. The upside is that games are
that the game can be any good.
The upside to that is the games are living for longer, and it's not unusual for big games to sell for years and even decades. Yeah. Just wait. Yeah. Wait a year, it'll be half price.
Yeah, whether it's from a Humble Bundle or a Steam sale, or even, Xbox and Sony have sales all the time.
What doesn't happen very often, but the Legend of Zelda live action movie has been moved up.
Oh, moved really? Up?
Wow. Yeah, from May 7th to April 30th, so like a week.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's not much, but
usually that never happens.
Most movies get moved back.
They're super confident until it gets moved back again, but forecasts for Masters of the Universe is really poor. It is actually below that of Tron Ares.
Oh my God.
Ouch.
What?
We're looking at 25 to 35 million opening weekend.
Oh, buddy.
It might be competing with Scary Movie.
Oh, whoa, boy. Okay.
Wow.
That's a bummer, huh?
Yeah, sentiment for Masters of the Universe has been quite poor as of late.
Yeah.
Well,
Sad.
and it doesn't help that the commentary from one of the actors and the director about, Skeletor representing toxic masculinity or whatever.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, then I don't want to see your movie.
Yep.
Gross.
There's been a lot of drama around Anita Sarkeesian recently. People saw her posing with the game developers for Claire Obscure, which immediately prompted huge amounts of people going, you need to come out and explain why you're in a photo with her immediately.
No, no.
Now I understand.
God.
Look, you might go, why are people upset? Anita Sarkeesian was at the core of a lot of the Gamergate drama because she even has her name in the credits of what is it, Spiral 2 or whatever?
I can't remember, but yeah.
Tower Spiral 2 something. Anyway.
Oh, Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire. Because she's in the credits, they've been downvoting and dumping on the game in Steam. Whether or not it's good or not, which it could be unfair. That's how negative people treat her being involved in the gaming universe. And so her posing in a picture with them immediately prompted, you need to explain this right now. Why are you in a photo with this woman? Because her being around a game will actually damage the game's reputation, whether rightfully or wrongly. That's how much of a poison pill she is being involved in anything.
Yep.
Much like Zoe Quinn
could be in danger.
Involved in anything attached to a game will actually get negative reception for your game, not positive.
Yeah.
So people have been paranoid about her showing up. And then, it's almost like the Sweet Baby Inc. It's attached to any game, and immediately people are like, oh, this is going to suck balls.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people will make spreadsheets of which games have been tainted.
Nintendo's share price has dropped 33% in the last 5 months.
Oh,
Wow.
They 10% recently, and they believe most of this is in reaction to expectations that the Switch 2 will go up in price.
Ouch.
Because of tariffs and also the increased cost of RAM.
Thanks, AI.
Also, their sales have not been doing well, and they've slowed production of the Switch 2.
Switch 2, the new Wii U?
Maybe.
Well,
Whoa!
Hey, Silver, there's a new Steins Gate reboot game.
gosh.
It's a game, and it's a reboot of Steins Gate, and the developer announced a full ban on streaming and uploading of any gameplay footage.
My God, that'll go well.
Yeah, that bodes well. That's perfect.
You're not allowed to stream this ever. Nobody talk about it. It's like an interactive story game or something.
Yeah.
But it's funny how aggressive they are at, like, we will copyright take down anybody who uploads video or streams the upcoming game.
All right.
Well, I mean, even if it was like a visual novel, like, who gives a shit? Like,
They do.
you will ruin, like, any, like, that's oh my God, that's such a bad idea, but whatever. Don't let people get hyped. Don't let people share their interest or joy in this. Certainly don't do that.
In 2023, a 53-year-old Japanese web creator who uploaded an hour-long video of Steins Gate My Darling's Embrace, including its ending, which were under streaming ban, alongside other copyrighted content, faced legal repercussions. He was arrested and found guilty of copyright infringement, ultimately being sentenced to 2 years in prison, suspended for 5 years, and fined 1 million yen, or approximately $6,400 US. Called into Yomiuri Shimbun, the man admitted to uploading the videos, knowing full well of legal implications. Yeah, they're not playing with this, and I don't know why. I mean, streaming oftentimes, well, I suppose it's a mixed bag. Oftentimes, any advertisement gets people interested in your game and gets word of mouth out there. I suppose if it's just story, people can avoid ever buying your game by experiencing the story, could be the argument.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. Like, maybe, but I was gonna say, like, I guess if it's like a visual novel, but even then, that's iffy. Like, because the thing is, sometimes people like to go back and watch those, like, the endings and stuff of those novels after they've read them.
Japan's
or
real
played them or whatever.
Aggressive about fair use, which doesn't exist for them. Fair use isn't a thing.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's illegal to repair or modify your consoles that you own. Or your electronics, apparently. So, like, if you have a Nintendo and it breaks down and you want to repair it, you can't.
If I break the button, I can't replace the button.
No, it's illegal to repair copywritten, like, stuff like that.
But place Japan.
But Japan...
Everything is better.
Nihongo.
Nihongo des Nippon
Kawaii.
Kawaii?
Yeah. I knew where you were going. See, Japan is not always beautiful and amazing. Sometimes it's really stupid. Like every country.
Let's just say there's a reason why the 80s version of dystopian sci-fi made it look like a combination of Japan and China.
Yeah.
They have dumb things.
Japan do dumb thing. Well, kids, we are left with the archived version for some reason. Is the one I found. Of Mixtape. So Mixtape is a game that came out recently, everybody. And there's been a huge amount of criticism revolving around this game. And I've gone down a rabbit hole trying to understand what on earth has been going on. Because I was confused. I don't know anything about Mixtape. Why is everybody either really into it or really not into it? So for a little indie game, and it's very indie and artsy-fartsy, and you might go, well, who cares about this indie artsy-fartsy game? In a confusing turn of events, a large amount of websites have been giving it a 10 out of 10, much like IGN.
Huh.
IGN famously gave Pragmata an 8, and the Mouse Detective a 6 because there was too much cheese in it. But Mixtape is a 10, which involves a huge amount of conversation and controversy. Now, I'm going to tell you this is conspiracy theory because at this point I can't confirm anything. Okay, but most people haven't been exposed to a lot of advertising about Mixtape. And the conspiracy is because they do know for a fact that some people did receive press packets and whatnot, is that basically they spent a lot of money going after reviewers to create some sort of ground roots word of mouth through online reviewers and didn't spend the money on anything else. So it's like, I heard it's good. Therefore, that's where a lot of their attention is going to be brought in. I don't know if that's entirely true, but that's what people are believing on the internet. They didn't do a lot of review. Like, I didn't get exposure to this game in any way. Like, I didn't know what it was until after it came out on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, what is this game? Basically, the game is a idealized romantic view of a coming-of-age story of being youth in the 90s, though it's kind of 80s. Obsessed with music and becoming of age or whatever. And what
So they're like, let's take the base of Stranger Things. People like
yeah, very, very much that. It's not that we haven't had countless coming of age movies revolving around how important music is to the timeline for kids and whatnot. And on top of that, for an indie game, they seem to have spent a lot of money and gotten a lot of rights to very big name bands like Smashing Pumpkins and The Cure, as well as many others, which makes me go, oh, so this is a well-funded indie game.
Yeah, and not just rights, but like in perpetuity rights, which
Yes.
like even Rockstar doesn't do.
No. So it's
Wow.
like, well, what are we
That's
looking
a
at?
lot of cash.
The other criticism is there isn't really much gameplay for this thing. And by that I mean people have been proving that on gameplay elements you can just put the controller down and you can't lose.
That's great.
There's a whole chase scene where they're rolling down a hill in a golf cart, or not a golf cart, in a shopping cart. And the guy literally put his controller down and put his hands in the air, and the game just plays itself.
Still won.
So it's really more of a slightly interactive story than it is much of a game at all. And by even much of a game, it's almost zero game and mostly vibes-based 90s, like, obsessed drama about music and being kids. And then on top of that, the thing is like 3 hours long.
Holy cow! And you basically do nothing.
Yeah. Why are we still talking about this? Because it was given multiple 10 out of 10 reviews.
Yeah, it was like 9s, 10s, and just like people falling all over themselves
suspicious
about it.
there.
Well, I don't know what you mean. What? Huh?
Right.
I'm smelling payoff here.
Well, and here's probably the biggest funny thing about this whole thing is the huge gulf of what people want versus what, like, reviewers want. Because this is belying a strange, like, how disconnected, horrifically so, game reviewers are with actual people who play games. Because gamers are not being kind to this game at all. They are shitting on it. And game reviewers are like, this is the greatest game. 10 out of 10. This reminds me of me when I was a youth being full of music. And it's like, I mean, that you wished you were. Here's the thing. I lived in this era. I didn't like people who were like this.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I don't know if you like, because like visually, this looks like a really weird game too. Like you said, it's like 90s but 80s-y, or it's 80s but it's 90s-ish. Like it's kind of like this like soupy, just nostalgia like look.
Yeah.
And like you have these schmucks, you know, that work in game reviewing nowadays, game journalism, who, you know, they're just like, oh, you know, it's just so beautiful and artsy and whatever. And it's like, yeah, but this looks like shit. Like, wouldn't you criticize that part of it? Like, what is this supposed to be? Like, it's just, oh, but it's vibes. Oh, okay.
Well, what should tell you they're not really gamers. It's more about the vibes and the cultural significance. And it reminds them of being young people when they didn't have to write shitty articles on a game website. On top of that, think about this, Ross. Game reviewers are constantly complaining about, well, you know, oh, we have to get stuff early so we can review it and this, and this.
Yeah.
How much in love do you think they are of a game that talks about their youth, how awesome music used to be, coming of age before they had to like become adults, and they didn't have to spend a lot of time playing. It was only 3 hours. Like that fits into their life perfectly.
Real nice. They don't have to sit there and struggle like in a Souls game or
experience
play hour after
fully
hour of Expedition 33.
Write a full review of a game you played for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
When the game is this 40-hour game.
Ugh.
I mean,
Yeah,
I can see why they love it. It took no effort. It was a vibes game, and they don't get gamers. They don't even get their own people they review games for.
Yeah. Well, and like, can I, not to be this guy, but there also seems to, this has got to be like kind of a generational gap too.
Maybe. Because
listen, I looked up the guy that wrote this particular article, the IGN one.
Uh-huh.
He's a limey, which.
Why are you nostalgic for America?
Second of all, well, number one, made by an Australian game company, but he's also about my age. So it's like, yeah, but like, are kids like Gen Zers and like Gen Alpha, are they nostalgic for the 80s and 90s? Well, no, I don't think that's possible. I don't know, like, cause I just had the thought of like when I was young, and like loved video games. And obviously the people that were writing about video games were older than me. They were Gen Xers or like really elder millennials, but mostly Gen Xers. Like, didn't seem like there was that big of a disconnect, but maybe it's because there's like, I played a lot of the games they played still because, you know, those consoles were cheap. And like, why wouldn't I? Or they were just hanging around. I don't know. Like, it just feels weird because like, I can't imagine a kid, and I don't even mean like a young kid, I mean like a 20-year-old, that would give a rat's ass about the setting or gameplay of this game. I mean, can you? I can't imagine one.
The article reads, "True nostalgia isn't the replication of a specific place or time, but a feeling." it's a vibes game. It's a vibes game.
Sure, it's just like this. We are. I mean, the last season of Stranger Things has now come out. Can 80s nostalgia fucking die, please? We've been living in it since like 2009.
Well, to
Please,
be fair,
God, let it die.
Stranger Things has become bad 80s nostalgia, so.
80s nostalgia is all bad now. I mean, there isn't any good anymore because it's just morphed into a parody of 80s nostalgia. Do you know what I mean? Like all of it now.
Well, see, that was
I grew
always
up in the 80s. The 80s
that was always,
sucked.
always my problem with how they depict a lot of these things. It's like the 60s. Whenever they depict the 60s, it's like, oh, hippies and hippie music. It's like, first of all, the hippies were a small. I don't know if this is going to burst your bubble with how stupid people tend to be. The hippies were a small percentage of the culture. A small.
Yeah.
Most people did not consume hippie culture or really listen to hippie music.
No. You're ruining my vision.
And when you talk about 80s and being cool 80s kids, and it's like, kind of. I was there. And we're talking about the 90s, and it's like, I was there. Most of us weren't punk little shits stealing shopping carts, and like there's a scene where he walks around a video store and he's knocking stuff off the shelves. It's like, I would have hated these kids. I would have gotten fights with these kids at school. I would have punched them in the face. That's what would have happened. And yet, and this belies sort of like the attitude that you get. Like, this is the, I missed the time when I was a cool kid and whatnot. It's like, either you have nostalgia for a person that you wish you were, or if you were that person, it tells me why you write bad reviews for video games. Because the gamers were not the cool kids.
No.
They were not the guys obsessed with music and the vibe and stealing shopping carts. They were kind of the losers sitting at home and playing Mario.
Yep.
These are not crossovers. I know gaming's become mainstream. Gamers were losers for most of its existence.
Yeah, there was unless you had like your crew of kids that you were friends with and you would go out and do stuff with, like the really popular kids didn't play that many video games.
No.
A little bit, but it, like, at least in my era. And I grew up in a tiny town. I mean, you know, my high school was 7 through 12 and like 120 kids, like very, very little. But, you know, like there was just like those kids, and granted, we all knew each other from when we were like in first grade, but like those kids typically didn't play games a lot. Like they just didn't.
Well, even the whole skater thing, it was a cultural thing, but not that many people were skaters.
No, yeah. There is an aspect of teenagers especially are really bad about, well, I want to do it too. Like, so they'll buy the studded belt or the, you know what I mean? Like they'll go to Hot Topic.
See, I had a douchey period of my life. Well, you might say still, where I was constantly second guessing sort of why I do things. Because a lot of the time people attach themselves to things like music and video games and culture and whatnot because of popularity and whether or not that's really what they think or what they like or their personality. Because I used to criticize people. It's like people wearing skating shoes. And it's like, you're not a skater. well, it's just, because it's like they're trying to copy the culture or the vibe, or people structure the whole personality around, well, going, I'm a Rage Against the Machine guy. And it's like, ugh. Do you like it because it's popular? Like, because your friends like it, or do you like it because you like it? And I mean, trends do this all the time. Like, read this douchey comment. The coming of age story is perhaps my favorite framework in all of fiction. So you're still pining about the fact that you used to have more fun when you were a kid? I get the coming of age story is a classic trope and it's been done over and over again. And a lot of people can't live about the fact that they peaked in high school, or the best time of their life. I'm going to tell you right now, my middle school and high school was the worst time of my life. I hated it. And anybody who looks back in nostalgia and then tells me I'm supposed to look back and opine over all of the days I've missed being in high school is like horseshit. I hate. Not only did I hate my time, but I hated you people. Ugh.
Yeah,
I forget those years in a heartbeat.
I'm with you.
Yeah, Silver did not.
I guess I'm the odd man out.
No, it was absolutely terrible.
Oh,
I hated
Silver
the people. I hated the very thing. It was
yeah. You had a really shite time of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it's funny. I've explained this
horrific
to older people how much I hated high school, because he's like, "You're supposed to have fun in your high school and college." It's like, I didn't. High school sucks. It's a terrible time full of self-absorbed, narcissistic pieces of shit who'll pick fights with you over nothing, who'll bully kids for no reason. It's all obsessed about what you wear or what clothes you have or the music you listen to or whatever. It's like Lord of the Flies. It's horrible. I wouldn't be surprised.
not High School Musical.
It's not High School Musical. Everybody does not like each other. And everybody that looks back at it fondly were the people who were the awful people in school.
Yeah.
There's an aspect of
like
that.
Like you said,
absolutely.
they're the people who peaked in high school, and it never got any better for them.
Well, constantly look back, oh, I used to play football and stuff. But it's like, okay. Congratulations.
I used to hide in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the same experience.
Guess whose best friend Silver was in high school? Me!
Yeah. It's not wrong.
I am Silver's best friend, everybody.
And in between that, it was nobody.
Oh.
I'm her high school influence, which is why she's sarcastic and douchey today.
Slightly misogynist.
And slightly misogynistic. Not entirely.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know how that happened. But it's the self-absorbed, self-obsessed about, your time back in school. And it's like this game hits a certain vibe of people that were obsessed with that time. It doesn't work for me. Like Stranger Things worked with the nostalgia with the 80s for me to some degree until Stranger Things became bad. But the nostalgia didn't bother me. This nostalgia being, oh my gosh, 10 out of 10 vibes, coming of age story, ugh. And especially when you're telling gamers this is a 10 out of 10 where there's no gameplay.
Yeah. Like,
3
just
hours?
Not play it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
How much are they charging for this? Do we know?
I don't. I can play it for free on Game Pass. I haven't. Which you might go, well, you can't criticize if you haven't played it. It's like, well, I could criticize the sentiment around it. I mean, I have a knee-jerk reaction I have when everybody says this is the greatest thing ever to be like, I bet it's not.
Charging $18 on
Okay,
Steam for this game.
For 3 hours, that seems even excessive, but hey.
It's like, I bet it's... Well, I had that same reaction with Avatar. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, Avatar is amazing. And which gave me the, well, now that you've made this out to be the greatest thing ever, my expectation is that high. So when I go to see Avatar, I was like, this is not that great a movie. So you kind of blew it. And I think a lot of people looking at this is, oh, it's a 10 out of 10. And then playing it be like, this is not a 10 out of 10. Like, if they'd have been more reasonable, like, hey, it's a 7, it's fun, then that's one thing.
Yeah.
But to
If you like the nostalgia, you know.
Yeah. But to way overdo the, oh, how amazing it is.
So good.
Which once again belies the difference between actual gamers and these reviews people.
Yeah. It's just that this difference has been, I mean, it has been a thing for a long time. You know, back in the early 2010s, people were having these complaints about video game journalists, and it's only gotten worse. You know, you have these journalism majors that can't get a job anywhere else, so they end up at, you know, IGN, Kotaku, whatever. And they don't care. They don't like video games. They think they're stupid, or they play them just enough to get by. But really, they want to do something more important, you know. And it just... I mean, Jesus Christ, people couldn't complete the tutorial of Cuphead, for fuck's sake. And they put that... They took that clip and put it in the review.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how little these people give a shit.
He gave it a bad
God.
review because of how difficult it was, and he never got it past the tutorial.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to give a comprehensive review of a game when you can't get past the tutorial?
Yeah.
This game's terrible because you're an idiot? Is it because you're stupid?
Well, it also shows that places like IGN have no journalistic integrity because they don't have any standards for the game review.
Oh, when did they ever?
Like, no, you need to check all these boxes and address these specific things when you're doing a game review. And obviously they don't do that.
I mean, it's an artsy-fartsy cool kid game. I mean,
I wouldn't even say it's a cool kid game. It's an artsy fartsy. I wouldn't even say it's a cool kid game. It's literally just people that won't grow the fuck up.
Yeah. Who want to be the cool kid?
Yeah, maybe that. But I mean, my lord.
I mean, I remember me and my friends used to go around and hang out, and I was like, were you as cool as you thought you were? Or you just rose-colored glasses your past?
Oh, we were so cool. We were like kicking cans and stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
We did like jackass stunts. You don't even know, dude.
And that's the thing. I don't even know if the game is, good or not, or if the vibe is good or not. That's less irrelevant as to the, oh my gosh, this is a 10 out of 10 experience that you don't even really have to touch the controller most of the time. And it's 3 hours long. It's like, really?
What a game. I mean, Jesus, the dating simulator games have more fucking gameplay than that.
Look at this. As if they could have been ripped straight from your teenage Facebook or MySpace page.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
This is exactly
MySpace didn't exist in the 90s, did it?
Nope.
So he's got nostalgia for something he doesn't even understand.
It matters so much, Red.
There's no interest in failed states or high score chasing here, instead of prioritizing existing in and enjoying the moment. It's a vibes game. Its simple mechanics match its simpler times, with each twist aiming to elicit a fresh emotion through interactivity in a way that only video games can. Well, interactivity as in you don't really have to interact that hard.
Apparently.
That can be simple as hitting a series of buttons to headbang in rhythm to Silverchair's Freak, blasting out a car radio, or designing your own slushies from a selection of flavors.
Oh my lord.
You can do that
Shut
today.
up.
You can do that today.
Yeah. Just go hang out with your friends, guy.
Yeah, go out and... You know what's a great 10 out of 10 experience? Hanging out with your buddies and listening to music.
Like,
Guys,
Why
let's
don't you
go
just
hit the
do that?
7-Eleven and get some very slushy flavor.
Just
Oh, saw,
ruined
dude.
myself for diabetes.
Oh yeah. It's all just on the street regretting her life choice.
A1C got a little high. Kind of a problem.
Each memory sequence spawns a keepsake found around the world that smartly serves as a key to unlock cherished memories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I don't care if you're the cool kid, if you're the lame ass. Like, just you do need to like get beyond where you're at. Like,
This is
or where
literally
you
a
were.
game that's reminiscent about touching grass.
Yeah.
Where you can actually touch grass. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember when I used to go outside and enjoy myself? I wish I could go outside and enjoy myself.
I can't do that anymore.
It's too
I'm an
far.
adult.
Go touch grass. No, I'm going to play the game about when I used to touch grass.
Man, I wish I could touch grass.
God, make friends, please. I beg you.
Almost, yeah. Like, to go make friends, dude.
You can literally do all this still. You can like jam music in your car, go to concerts. Like you can do all the things you did,
You
man.
do all of that. But
Can't do it as often, I guess.
his
but-
friends have grown up and he doesn't want to grow up. So he can't do that anymore with the friends he wants to. And when he tries to hang out with the younger people, they think it's creepy.
Oh God, he's one of those.
Yeah, I
Yo,
thought
fellow
mixtape
teens.
might have garnered a big discussion too, but
So, Rhett, when are you gonna do a full playthrough?
ugh.
Yeah. You can do
He
a
just
let's
threw up
play.
in his mouth a little.
If I could force somebody to sit with me while I play it, then I might.
Misery
I
loves
just love-
company, right?
Well, of all the people, would be Rhett. Somebody who has like zero nostalgia for that kind of a thing.
No.
Just be like, ugh.
Just me groaning in the background.
But we need, okay. So we have Rhett, the control group. We need someone who's super nostalgic for that, and it'll be the greatest video ever.
Oh God, well it ain't me.
Well, I spend all my time
it's not one of
screaming
us.
at the person by looking at that era with weird, It's like, that's
Yeah.
not what it was like at all. Well, it's been a special podcast. This reminds me. So this week, I went and listened to a bunch of the old speeches that Kevin Smith used to give. And it
Yes.
reminds me sort of why Kevin Smith fails today. Kevin Smith used to be the trash talking guy who'd go up and like shit talk bad movies or experiences with these crazy people in Hollywood or all these other things. And today, he is a weepy mess who doesn't want to hurt people's feelings and struggles to get anybody's attention because he's just not the guy he used to be.
Yeah.
And in many ways, that's sort of part of the reason why he fails. What we've been missing is people willing to call out bad media because it's bad. And it's like, oh, well, I went and saw Superman and it was just boring. It was just a bad movie.
Yep.
It's huge plot holes and it's an awful film. But then you've got people who are like, how could you be mean? They tried.
It's like, what?
And it's like, what do you
it's
mean?
more
It's a
stupid.
bad movie. And
A multi-billion-dollar company?
well, and how disconnected he is from the average person who probably sits at home and goes, I hated that movie. But for some reasons, doing it on the
Seriously.
internet means you're a troll or you're being dishonest or exaggerated or there's political motivations because you hate the director or you hate the actor or you've got some sort of like, you're some MAGA crazy person. And it's like, how come it has to be political for me to say that movie looks bad? How come it's political for me to go, well, Helen wasn't black? Somehow now I'm just a racist piece of shit for pointing this out.
Yeah, you are. God.
That I've gone too far. And it reminds me of Kevin Smith, who used to just call out bad stuff, and now he's kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
Who's just a loser who weeps on the internet openly. It's like, I remember you used to criticize things for being bad, and then you became part of Hollywood, and you didn't want to offend people that you knew, or it's like, well, I didn't really, because like he famously had that huge criticism of Prince and how weird he was, and later on he felt bad about it because he's like, well, he's an artist and artists are weird, and I feel bad for criticizing him so openly. It's like, or he's also weird. You know, that's also true. There's nothing wrong in pointing out a nice guy who's also a psycho. I shouldn't criticize homeless. I know he shits on the street, but you know, he's had rough times. It's like, yeah, but it's bad. He's pooping on the street.
I really don't enjoy this.
In terms of criticism in popular culture, we should be allowed, and in fact encouraged, like what happened to just being a young guy sitting with your friends like, oh, that movie's just a pile of dog crap. I'm like, well, what did we watch? And then somehow we have to account for their feelings or account for how, you know, whether or not we're being mean to the right people or demographic or whatever. He's lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it's almost like an analogy for today.
Everyone got lame.
Everybody did get lame.
Not me, though.
Well, we do have all those videos of you crying on the internet that we're going to put out.
No, we purged those.
Put out TikToks of you just close up of your face weeping. What are you crying about? I listened to a song I used to listen to. It made me feel things.
Welcome back.
You dork. Don't be mean.
You know, they say depression is being sad about what used to be, and anxiety is being anxious and upset about what's gonna happen. And too many of us are thinking about what's gonna happen or what used to happen instead of enjoying what is today. It's funny. I was a little kid in the 80s, but I mostly experienced the 90s. So more of my pop culture is like 90s grunge and rock and whatnot, like Stone Temple Pilots and Nirvana and Pearl Jam. And
Yeah.
all that sort of thing, the Smashing Pumpkins and whatnot. So when they do 80s stuff, I don't really get sentimental because I don't really remember much of I mean, I was a little kid, but I didn't consume music.
Yeah. You weren't MTV kid or like going to concerts or
So I've been listening to a lot of rock, like the actual radio rock, because we found an old radio and I put it in my room and I just play classic rock in my room and it's all just 80s stuff. And it's like I'm having fun listening to 80s music and I'm feeling no sentimentality, sad nostalgia of, oh, what it used to be when I was a kid, because I didn't really like experience it when I was a little kid. So it's almost like listening to it today and then it's fun. And I think too often the cultures we live in, grow up in, get so attached to emotion that it's like we can't even experience music when we were younger, because it's like, I remember when I used to hang out at school and the emotions I felt because my parents wouldn't understand me. And you know what? You don't need to live in the past all of the time. You can live today and then also enjoy Nirvana without getting weepy.
I'm getting weepy, Rhett.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Friggin' this game made me feel things. Great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Why is it a 10 out of 10?
That's nice.
Because of your personal experience. Why is it a 10 out of 10? Because you felt something. Well, that doesn't mean everybody's going to feel anything or has nostalgia
You better.
for the 90s. Try and convince Silver to play that. She was born 4 minutes ago.
Exactly.
She literally
All I know
fell
is
out.
Skibby Toilet.
Yeah, she fell out of the womb and she was like skibbity giat Riz.
Yep, it's all true. These are facts.
That's me.
That's Silver.
That's Silver. Ba-dum-bum.
Well, just thoughts. Anyway, we should probably end this farce of a podcast. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, or you're gay.
Specifically, yes.
Well,
Like
I'm
how that's
hoping
the new
there's
thing.
either do it out of humor, like because I said that, or there might actually be one genuine homophobe who's like, I'm not gay, and then subscribe.
Uh-uh.
Nuh-uh.
Comment down below if you're that guy.
we want all of the insecure about their sexuality people to subscribe to the podcast.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
You'll really like us.
Yeah, you'll enjoy us. We got some light silver misogyny over here.
Yeah, just a little, just a hint.
Both the diversity hire and the misogyny.
Yes. Yeah. She hates women more than Ross does.
Maybe, which is alarming.
Well, let's get out of here. Goodbye.
If you like the show, follow Rhett, Jason, Ross, and Silver, the world's most lethally stupid internet personalities, on Twitter at DG Podcast or on Instagram at Distracted Gamers. If you liked or hated what you heard here today, you can email them at thedistractedgamers@gmail.com and share your feelings. Not that Jason would care, since he hasn't any, of course.